Yes, guys. Welcome, Julius. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Julius. Uh,
Thank
uh,
you.
uh, uh, welcome. Julius, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great, guys. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the closing argument. I know we were off on the Monday. We had some technical problems going on with the studio in Liberia, so we couldn't come on. But I'm glad that we are able to come back here today and begin the this week edition of the closing argument. We are here live. Uh, uh, we are back. There's a lot going on today. There's just a whole lot that is going on today, happening in Liberia. The Supreme Court has finally made a decision on the 10-year position, the issue of landmark ruling today on the 10-year position. We will be dissecting that as well as we move forward on the show tonight. But before we get on the show, we'll be bringing a special lady on, Miss. I'm going to tell you her name. The young lady who was recently escaped death at the hands of what's the guy name? Miss. Her name is Miss Tiller, who escaped hands of death from the U.S. missionary that was in Liberia a
Jessica
couple of
Lloyd.
months ago. What's her name again? I don't even want to call her
Jessica Lloyd.
Jessica Lloyd. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jessica
yeah.
Lloyd will be coming on with her family. We're going to be hosting them for the next 30 or 40 minutes. Jessica will be coming on. And then after that, we're going to go into the landmark ruling by the Liberian Supreme Court. So we're going to be starting shortly. We're going to be talking to Jessica and about what happened. Uh, it's been very difficult. We saw a video of Jessica crying and all of that after the ruling. But we're going to talk about this man who was a missionary from the U.S., went to Liberia, was already married, and also had another wedding, and then attempted to kill his wife in Liberia. This was just so terrible, very terrible. But we once they come, we will bring them on. I see they're trying to get ready in the back. Jessica is
Yes,
getting her.
they're in a bed.
Yeah, they're getting their phone ready. Once they come, but Julius, you know about that case. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Well, first of all, great to be back on here. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week. Yes, I follow that case. I did not to the legal part of it, unfortunately, because I don't know how much it was being discussed, especially the legal aspect of it. But I followed the incident when it first came up, and it was unfortunate to see that Liberian will have gone through such a thing, and then the most unfortunate part is the verdict. Um, but I don't want us to. I really don't want to jump to conclusion and show some level of sentiment, especially due to the fact that the victim is coming on here tonight. So hopefully we can do justice to the questioning and just be able to probe and to find out what really happened because all along I felt bad for this young woman, but I don't want people thinking that okay, maybe because of my prejudged mind, I'm trying to be sentimental and I'm siding with her. So there are two sides to every story, but to be honest with you, I mean it saddened me to know that a Caucasian could come to Liberia and exhibit such behavior and walk away with it, whether it is alleged or not. But I know had similar incident taking place in the United States. The verdict we heard will probably not be anywhere close to what it was or what it is today. So it's unfortunate, but it's great to be on here. Great to be a part of the conversation, and hopefully we can get the public the needed information they need to have about this entire case, and so that hopefully other people can learn from it.
Yes. Hopefully, Judah, prior to, I used to work as an investigator a couple of years
Mhm.
with the New Jersey Department of Children, and I was one of the investigators there
Mm.
before I took up another position with the state. But one of the things that I always did, I mean, you don't, that you have to interview everybody, have to talk to everybody before you even come up with a conclusion. So we always
Right.
saw a case. There's two sides to every story. Whether I had the gut feeling that this person was wrong, I couldn't go in there and want to think that this person was wrong. But sometimes, we try to put ourselves into the situation and think that, yeah, this, so we don't know, but we follow the story. We I think we listened to Jessica some time ago, and it was really, really a painful thing to hear her talk, her story, and all of that. But we will be bringing her once they get set to come on. We'll bring Jessica. Jessica will be with us for the next 40 minutes. Then we're going to arrange some time for her to come back, and we're going to do a very special show for her. But let me just recognize a few people, and then we'll switch and get the show started. Aliu Kamara, Christian Roberts, Oliver Sako in Ghana, Mohammed Kane, Boli Sunday Jatu, Juj Oneware, Emmanuel Ma, Jonathan B. Williams, Alice York, Emmanuel Ma, James A. Coyote, Yvette Sifas, Felicia Free Wallow, James again, Asata Dawson, Comfort Abu, and everyone. Guys, share the show. Thank you. Just share the show. But tonight we have Jessica Lloyd. She's going to come up and tell us after that. Acquittal by Mr. Lucas by the court, and then he's fleeing the country. Out of that, and so Jessica wanted to come and share her story, but we will schedule a special show for her, but we want to bring her on now so we can just talk about what's going on. But it was very unfortunate. I think today, if you have read listing or watched various social media platform around Liberia, you saw today that the Supreme Court issued a major ruling today against the ruling government. There was a setback for them, and the Supreme Court. I mean, the first case I believe against I think this is the first or second case against the United Party have come up with, and I mean, the Supreme Court was very candid in the interpretation of the day. Very careful how they interpret it today, and I think there's something that we need to learn from. Once the Supreme Court issue a ruling, I don't think anybody can go against it. They are the final arbiter of the law, and once they issue that, nobody can go against the Supreme Court. So, but we're going to be talking on it until Jessica gets ready. Timothy George is here. Timothy George, there you go. To hold it down, Timothy.
Yes, guys, good to be back, man. Lofa and Dr. Peabody, it's good to be back. Today is indeed was a landmark decision from the Supreme Court, and then we have Jessica Lloyd and her family. They are here tonight to share with us there. They gave the response about the murder verdict that was not guilty verdict for Richard Lucas, the American missionary who was accused of attempted murder. But the courts in Liberia judged him not guilty, and he left the country immediately after he was found not guilty. And also today, the Supreme Court, as we said earlier, issued a landmark ruling in the tenure position issue. And then the president will get information he's leaving the country on Friday for the U.S. The question is, what is he coming to America for? Is it an official visit or medical visit? The Liberian taxpayer deserve to know why he's coming to the States. Because whatever trade the president makes is Liberian taxpayer funded. And also, what is a fair game for the people to know, or if the issue is about medical, to know what about the president's medical situation. It's important once Liberian taxpayers are funding it. But we'll talk about that later on. But let's welcome Jessica Lloyd and her family on the closing argument for the first time. want to say to Jessica and to your family, you guys to introduce yourselves. Welcome to the closing argument. I think Dr. Peabody, Lofa Julius, they're here. The others will join us. But you guys, welcome, and you can make your own introduction.
Hi everyone, to the panelists in studio. I want to say thank you to you all. I'm Cynthia Lloyd, the mother of Jessica Lloyd.
And I'm Jessica Lloyd.
So my name is Titus B. Pakala. I'm a Liberian human rights defender.
Okay. Welcome again to the closing argument. And as we all know, this is in the news. Well, we just want to say, first of all, you guys, Peabody and Lofa, and fitting you guys, then we can get it going.
Well, Jessica, good to see you. Good to see you, your mom as well. Good to see you, Titus. I remember Titus when we helped a young man to come do a surgery in America. It was Titus who's actually broke that young man's story, and were able to bring Samka Sharif to the stage to do that surgery. He really introduced us to Samkai, and since then we have been in contact and still support Samkai in school and stuff like that in Liberia. But it's good to see all of you guys, and welcome to the Closing Acumen.
Thank you.
Well, Jessica, and to the mother, of course, Titus as well. We want to welcome you all to the Closing Argument. We first of all have to be grateful to God that Jessica, at least you still have your life to be with us here and tell your story. Hopefully, God' decision to keep you alive to help other young women and girls to hopefully learn from their story. And I just want to say to your mother as well. I saw you on one of the live podcasts. I guess you have shown some level of resilience. You're a very strong mother. Continue to remain strong for Jessica until justice is served. Regardless of the situation, we just want you to know that Liberians around the world, we will continue to keep you in our prayers, and we will do the best that we can to make sure that the voice is heard and that justice is served, justice for all. And Jessica deserves better than what she experienced from the the judiciary system in our country. So we just want to say great job thus far, and we'll continue to pray for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So Mr. Peewee, you're muted.
No, he's not muted. He's speaking Lamont, so we can hear him.
But Luva, you've been a power. You've been a power. But let me say, on a more serious note, let me say, Georgie, thank you. I've been trying to reach you, but you kept yourself perpetual communicado. But we'll discuss that behind the scene. But again, I'm one person that been vehemently angry with myself. And the reason why I've been angry with myself is that we didn't have the opportunity to actually come out via the way we did things before to really protest against this. But let me remind the most powerful country on earth. The embassy, I didn't listen to the embassy come up with a special release on this process. The State Department report, the human rights report just came out, indicating a lot of human rights violations back home in Liberia. The State Department report, the past time, the we administration indicated all of the atrocity allegedly committed. They emphasized that, they amplified. Unfortunately, when Lucas got involved into this issue, one of our own daughters, one of our own sisters, one of our own cousins, within a year, the U.S. embassy near our capital, Monrovia, to come out with a statement. And I'm looking at it from that perspective. I think we need now to leverage. Now, the U.S. major foreign policy tools is to lambast other countries, sanction their government officials. How can we just suppose leverage some of those things as a small country in making them to understand our own plight? They didn't listen to this. We saw the evidence was very clear. But this girl was almost executed by that idiot. But nothing, basically, unfolded, the court came out in the way and manner the court did. It's troubling. And it's about time that we all leverage this opportunity to call on the U.S. Embassy time to time to come up with information that they will push on situations and move those situations very, very much robustly. It's unfortunate. I sympathize with her situation, but the only thing we can thank God for today, she's alive. But she should push. She can go beyond that. There should be some arbitration to get me sued here in America. The family can do that. They can push on GoFundMe process around and seek support because she got some medical problem. She shouldn't live with that. They will understand it. They can do some. This country is so sophisticated. Too many quickly, I will soon end. It's so sophisticated that they can perform some level of DNA testing to know if they got something called DNA genealogy, right? They will know if he touched the girl and what have you. She can get some relief from here. I want to believe that. If our court system did not deliver to her, unfortunately, she should use the system to get some level of relief. I think the family should not relax on this. The mother is on here, the brother is on here. They should all push collectively. And we, as a family, can support them, protect this girl so she can get some justice.
Okay, so quickly, let's just go straight into the discussion with them. Maybe we'll start with the advocate. You guys can tell us, bring up the speed. Where are we now with this whole matter? I know the judge issued a ruling that he declared Mr. Lucas not guilty, and he has already left the country. So where are we right now? What next step you guys are going to take?
So first of all, we are extremely disappointed in the system. The system has deprived Jessica's dignity and her right to access justice and inherent and fundamental human rights in Liberia. And so as activists and family, we've decided to take further legal action, and we've also decided to avoid having further conversation on the legal context, because we do not want to incriminate our opinion, neither incriminate the opinion of the victim. So we've also decided to have a mass protest mobilizing community action, youth activists, entrepreneurs, innovators from across Liberia to raise awareness on the failed system that failed our sister, that failed our mother, and failed too many Liberian girls who today do not have access to justice. And as part of our intervention, we already launched a GoFundMe account. Currently, it's at 970 out of 150,000. And so it is there. So the essence of that is to ensure that we raise necessary resources so that we can support Jessica's well-being, and so that she doesn't always, live with the trauma, but at least she can find solace among some of us who are here, always willing to support her and also support the family. So there are two things we're currently considering, that is mass sitting action and also raising awareness and having this GoFundMe, account active for people to contribute towards the well-being and health of Jessica Law.
Okay, so let me just go quickly to the rest of the other guys. Let them ask the questions. Dr. Peabody and Lofa, then Sylvester Peewee. Go ahead, Dr. Peabody.
Jessica, it's so good to see you and your family. I'm very sorry for your unfortunate situation. Let me say that I empathize with you on whatever you went through, and hope that you will get justice and get help soon. But let me ask you, Lucas, were you legally married to Lucas?
Yes, we got married traditionally last year in May 2023.
So, hello?
And he didn't tell you that he was married.
Hello?
Oh, you don't want to, huh?
Yeah, so we do not want to go in the nitty-gritty of the legal context of the
Okay, you don't want to go there. Okay.
So
okay.
we'll remain on the surface and to raise the necessary awareness for the family. and so that they could express their disappointment, but not to,
Okay.
basically enter into the legal contest. As
Okay.
I earlier indicated,
I
have
understand,
intention
but
to follow push the case in the United States and everywhere Luca Rachel may
okay,
exist.
I agree with you. I won't go there, but I'm just trying to show how he was married and then lied to them and got married again. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
But I want to ask Jessica. On the day of the ruling, there was a video that I saw you, and you were engaging him, Lucas, and you were telling him what he did to you. I just want you to bring me back to that moment. What was going through your mind then, Jessica?
Okay, so after the judge gave the final ruling, and because I was paying keen attention in court, my twin brother he went off in court, and I was just there sitting like nothing was going on. Like my brother in the just fall on the ground because of what the judge was explaining, and then he knew that he wasn't going in my favor. He wasn't talking all of those things in my favor. So like he fell off, and then he was rushed outside. So with all that going on, I was just there sitting and then wanting to hear the final statement from the judge himself. Even though I knew what he was going to say because of all of the statement, how he was behaving. So after he gave the final ruling, and my family was like, "What did the judge say?" And I said, I just turned to them and said, "The judge said that Lucas Richard is not guilty." So I gave them I told him that the judge had said Lucas Richard is not guilty. So then the judge left the court, and then everyone just walked us out. We all walked us out. So then my lawyer, Counselor James, he then said, "Oh, Jessica, he was like telling me to be sure and all of that." So he said, "Jessica, let's go to my office." While going to the office, and then I saw Lucas Richard and his lawyer, like his lawyer guarding him. And that irritated me. Like, why would you be guarding someone who wicked, like who just did something, and then you know that what is right, you know the truth, and then you still guarding him? So then I just like, okay, I need to say who was this man so that he could be reminded of what he did, so that my words were leaving his ear, even though he might be free forcefully because that wasn't the right statement or that wasn't the right ruling the judge gave. So I needed to say something to him that he will live with for the rest of his life. So like I feel like I needed to say something that he will remember that day, remember what he had done wasn't right at all. So then I went to him, and then I just knocked him on his hand, and then he saw me, his lawyer, all of them, and I just started saying what I said in that. I don't know where the courage came from because like when we go to court, I don't usually talk to him. He's the one speaking to me all the time, and I don't even answer him. Yeah, so I feel
Okay,
like
my last question, Jessica. Uh, for you and your Titus, since the incident, have you gone to hospital? Have you taken treatment? How do you feel now? And to Titus, when do you guys plan to have the protest? That's all. I'll tell you.
Okay, so we plan to have. I think you're gonna respond to the medical side as to whether she's been to hospital, but I'm sure, and I've been with them. So we plan the protest for April 30, 2024, and we're gonna be assembling at YMCA up Crown Hill. That's where young people will be gathering to march and demand justice and express our discontentment about the Liberia's justice system, the criminal justice system, about how it has disappointed us and the people of Liberia.
so concerning my health, like the first time the incident occurred, and then we went at the JFK hospital where I was treated for the hit on my head and on my throat, which of course doctor reports stated that I had blood splash on the brain. And since the incident, I've been feeling a lot of headaches. Every day I will have to take pain medication for the pain. And I don't use earpiece like before. I don't listen to loud sounds. And I don't use pillow like I switch sides at night continuously, and I would just have to wake up and then relax for a bit so that the hair can cool down, and then I would go back to sleep. And I can lay down, scrape the back of my hair, and it will start to pain. So yeah, that's, and my stomach too. It hurts because I think because of the abortion. So I have this stomach pain. I don't know the kind of pills that he gave me. And for my throat, it scratches at times. I remember my mom and I went to a throat doctor here in Liberia where he said that it would take years for the pain to go,
Hmm.
but he then prescribed some medication. But I still feel pain under the throat, bit by bit. I don't eat something hard because if I had to swallow something heavy, like I feel pain. So I just take my time while eating. Yeah, and I'm not well, not at all. Even though I want to seek justice, but then my well-being is important as well. Like physically, emotionally, I'm not well, but it's not easy for a person to go through that and then come out just strong. Even though at times I try to be strong, but it's not easy. Even though I fight it at times, but it's very hard for you to go through what I went through and then just forget about it. It will take years to come out of it, but then yeah, I need a real treatment for my health because I don't know what is really happening within my body.
So additionally, we
somebody else.
on that day of the march, we're going to be marching to the Capitol building, and from there we go to the U.S. Embassy because of recent we realized that the U.S. government here through the U.S. Embassy released their 2023 human rights report, and I read the full report. There were some portion of the report that did not include situational, incidences such as the one of Jessica Lord, and it happened 2023 September 14th. So I don't know as to whether how it was done, but that stays with them. But we're going to be there to also let them know that an American national on our own sovereign soil has violated the fundamental right of our daughter, our sister, and the war is washing. This is not Ukraine against Russia. This is the Liberian people, demanding for justice for our sister and for every Liberian girl child whose rights have been fundamentally violated. So we also have Samantha here. She's part of the team, so she's going to join us as well and contribute to the conversation. Yeah, I'm here as well.
Lofa?
Okay. I want to interact directly with the mother. If you don't mind, Jessica, do me a favor. Have your mother come in the middle so I can just to get that interaction with her, please.
Can you bring him? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay. So, like I said initially, I must commend you for your courage to continuously support your daughter. I want you just describe to me your reaction. Describe for me your reaction every time you come across another Caucasian. What goes in your mind first when you see another Caucasian? If you were driving down the street and you came across another Caucasian man walking next to another Liberian, okay, what goes through your mind? What is your reaction?
I can feel so bad, so bad. Sometimes I sit down and say, I will not Jessica will ever get married because I I can't really trust anybody in my whole entire life anymore. I feel so bad.
And finally, here, because a lot of us on here, I want to give other people the opportunity to ask you, do you have any regrets as of now? Do you have any regrets at all? Because it is alleged that they were married, and that would require your consent to have them to be married, which of course made him
No,
your.
Lofa, they said they don't want to drive into that because the court
No,
proceeding.
I'm not asking. What
Yeah.
I'm asking, as to whether there is any regrets
Oh,
to
okay.
the decision that was made to have had him marry the daughter. That's just what I want to. Do you have any regrets? Because
Yes,
here's the thing about this, Pee. In
No, I got you.
Liberia,
I got you, brother.
right? In Liberia, we tend to lift Caucasians or other national more than our own people. So I just want our young sisters and to hopefully learn from this. I just want to know: do you have any regrets?
yes.
What is that? What would that regret be?
I regret a whole lot. While Jessica, my daughter, have to follow Lucas' regime. Sometimes it happens in life, but just that we fall ourselves in the wrong hands. That all.
Thank you.
Pee Wee,
Yes. I would take it from the angle for me.
excuse me. Let me welcome Chairman Ben Sanvee, Keff Hassan, Grace Goa, and Attorney Isaac Jackson. Well, so they're all panelists, so I welcome them. Go ahead, Pee Wee.
Yes, thank you. I would take it from the account from the side of it's very difficult here, right? From the initial stage, we stated all of these things, but again, I want to see it from wherein the family will have to now focus on because she just narrated a lot of situation about her own personal hurt now, and I would want them to begin the process about focusing on that more or less and ensuring that they can get some redress from that perspective because she's saying from that she sometimes you feel some expansion from the esophagus. If the esophagus is giving some problem medically, I'm from a medical family, right? As my sister think this, we have some conversation about that. It's serious that you will have to see a doctor, a specialist, to advise to check her and to give some issue to that. Another thing I want to focus on here is that from this perspective, this is a human interest story. I was in Liberia at the time during the political period when this situation unfolded and we took some key attention to it. We will be interested in the process about how do we go about pushing, if we can collectively write, if not the State Department of the U.S. Embassy, trying to seek some, taking some action against him here. Right, that would be very important. We can do it as people and a group of people coming together to do this to seek some redress on her behalf. But more or less, I'm interested in seeking the fact that she's going to get some very serious medical attention. Other than that, there should be some long-term problem. So she will have to do those things because there's difficulty in eating, swallowing, and the rest of that. And the esophagus is very important towards our process about our digestive system and the rest of it. So that's one. And another thing quickly, we would be all looking if that the Widow Mike to contribute towards the GoFundMe as a if not we can project it as a platform here to see how we can help our dear sister move from this and come graduates from this process. But it's quite frankly unfortunate. It's troubling, and I'm one person that's deeply troubled ever since I heard this development. When she first narrated this on with Kwame weeks at a time, it was troubling. It was very, very, there's it's just not something that one can explain here. But I think that's illegal to stay in our country. But I don't know if the way the situation will unfold at the time, and we will have to just accept. Sometimes we disagree, and that's it. We disagree with the ruling, but again, we just have to accept it and move it. But we can take some other legal process outside of Liberia, hopefully, and seek some very tangible redress for her and mobilize some resources that will go to help her. I don't want to go into the process of, but if they were this, they were that, we are all humans. And then, but what I would do now at the time, and on behalf of what we did before, but we can see where best we can do some timely intervention. But I deeply sympathize with her situation, and I wish her all of the time and speedy recovery. I know the sentiment, I know the emotion will be there, but you have to work to start to work on it gradually. And the mother herself, I listened to her just now, we all got mothers, right? That we do all those things that we do. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chairman Sanvee.
Thank you, and thank you, Tomalin. It's good to see you. Thanks to everybody. Let me first of all say uh, to Jessica and her mom that I'm deeply sorry for what has happened to you. No woman, no child, no girl child, nobody should ever go through what you've gone through. I understand that Mr. Lucas have left the country. I agree. I think there's something that needs to be done. But let me exceptionally want to thank Samantha. You know, Sammy is now. I mean, I'm looking at her. I can't even believe that's that's Samantha. I'm looking at. I'm so proud of her and what she has done, and the courage for you to do this, Sammy. I want to thank you for doing this. This is a testament to how you were raised, and I think the message has to go across. This issue of domestic violence is something that is very serious in Liberia. You know, we take it for joke. People think that this is a joke, but like Jessica could have lost her life. I specifically want to say, and not necessarily even a question, but just to say to you guys to stay the course. And there are different ways and things that probably we can look at to explore to see how justice can be served. Because I do believe this is a miscarriage of justice. I personally believe so. I think something needs to happen. I know America is a land of law. No, whether you're an American or whether you are British, you don't go into another country and do something and think you can get away with it. This is not sentimental. I think at the end of the day, I just want to thank you guys for your courage, because this is not an easy thing. This is something that, Jessica, you're going to live with for the rest of your life. That scar is probably on you. So I just want to thank the both of you. The only thing I would say though is thank you and good. We will definitely be contributing to that, and we'll be spreading that also. But my question to you, to the mother is, are you guys, has Jessica sought any professional help, any counseling, anybody? I don't know if you answered that question before I came on because I wasn't listening. Has there been any counseling sought? Is there any, is that kind of resource even in Liberia? Are there counselors, anybody that she has reached out to? Because this is something that is very, 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 very serious. So I just want to know, have there been anything done in that direction?
Nothing like Europe or a title or lady in America. She been calling and talking to Jessica, counseling Jessica the future.
Okay.
Yeah, she been doing well, counseling Jessica, talking to her. But for Liberia, and what I will always say, I'm disappointed in them. I'm highly disappointed.
Okay. Well, like I said, just stay strong, and whatever we can do to help, we will do to help. No matter, this platform is available, no matter what we need to do, how much time we need to talk about it, we will go ahead and do it. But I just want to say to you, Jessica, stay strong. And the good news here is that you still have life, right? Once there is life, there is hope. Justice will happen one way or the other. The good news, just thank God that you are still alive, because the story could have been totally different by now than what we're talking today. So I just wanted to say that. And to Samantha, I want to say thank you also for doing this.
We are live on Truth FM, Hot FM, and YouTube. We are live, and we are being our show is all over the country right now on local station across the country. Just to let you guys know, so everyone's watching. We'll go to Keff Hassan, then Grace, and then Anthony Jackson.
Okay, so let me say hi to everybody. I want to yield my time to Grace. I will come after Grace, so she can, especially it come down to the issue of a female. So I want to give her that chance. Then I will come after her.
And I love that Kev have a music platform nobody else have. And I thank you, Kev.
I hope he gave you the time when it comes to politics.
I appreciate it. I don't care. I know Kev always give me his time. Well, I would like to say hi to everyone, and I would like to say hi to Jessica and her family, and welcome to the closing argument. And we are happy to have you guys here. I know that my brother Lofa Julius was saying some stuff, and Peabody was saying, we are not here to reprimand your family. And Lofa was saying the right thing, because as what happened to you, we also have to educate the Liberian people as well on these things, that since it happened to Jessica, it shouldn't happen to another Liberian girl. Most of the time, as missionaries, most of them go to Liberia, from their hearts, especially the missionaries that went to Liberia in the 70s when we were born. These days, missionaries, they go to Liberia and they are not well vested, or they are not well or checked, a background check on them, and they just enter the country. And because we are kind people, we are Liberians, we are very kind set of people. We accept them in our country, and we, welcome them and everything. But most of them don't go there because of, the goodness of their hearts. Some of them run away from here because they can't make it in the system. As you see, locals, as I look at him, he doesn't even look like somebody that would be in America to do what he's supposed to do as an American citizen. So maybe that's why he went to Liberia and did what he did. And I hope that the international community is listening so they can hear what we have to say. We are very sorry for what happened to Jessica. And it was unfortunate that she was put in harm's way the way she was put in harm's way. And the reason is that because most of us in Liberia, or as Liberians that live in Liberia, we do not understand sometimes. So I cannot blame Jessica's mother, but I just want you people to learn from this, that these people, when they come to our country, you have to be very careful how you bring your children around them, because most of them don't have good intent. Now, with this Lucas Riches, he has a lot of other information going on that we are already looking into. And my confusion with your team is that, who are you working with? So even if we come on closing argument now and we raise money and get a whole bunch of money for you, how are you working? The people you're working with, we need to know them, because we see that you're working with a lot of people, so we don't even know where or who to donate to. So all those things you have to have it into play for people to be able to give for you to fight this case, because this case, I hope that Liberians were getting together more before this case went to court, so we couldn't have ended with the verdict that we have, because the verdict that was supposed to be on Lucas Richards, not only for him trying to murder Jessica, but for him also murdering the child that was within her stomach, that was a child in her stomach. And when I followed the case, she said she was putting a medication. So right there is attempted murder on her own child. Then before, attempted murder on Jessica's wife, and also the domestic violence and the abuse that he did. So there was a lot of verdicts that was supposed to render on this man, and he just walked scot-free. So my advice to you is that you have to get the right people, the right lawyers, the right people that will push this matter. And then if I show you have a GoFundMe going on now, so people can know exactly to donate to that GoFundMe instead of sending money separately, so they can have enough money to be able to fight this matter. And if you need any help, I heard you talk about counseling. There's a woman that's counseling, but we don't know whether she's a professional counselor, because it's one thing Marcella can counsel, but you have to be you have to have that education to be able to counsel Jessica in a way that she will get over gradually what had happened to her. Although it will never go away, but it will help her cope with her daily life until the day she go home. So we need a professional counselor to be able to do that with her. We are so very sorry for what happened. We hope the Liberian mothers and fathers learn from this. Before you let your child be introduced to these people, you have to find out who they really are. Because most of them go to Liberia with not good intent. They feel that Liberia society, they can get away with stuff, and our justice system is not going to give us justice. So this is why they go there and do anything they want to do. What he did to Jessica, he might probably never do it here in America, because he knows that he will be going to prison for a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let me come. My question before I ask my question. Let me ask you, Jessica, how are you doing today?
Well, I haven't been well since the incident because, like I stated earlier, all of the pains, the neck, and then my head, my stomach continue to hurt. But I think God I'm alive.
Okay. Let me ask this question. I know you guys gonna protest. I think you're saying sometime in a couple of days. Are you guys have asked through your foreign ministry to see if you can ask to have a meeting with the folks in the American embassy to see if you can talk to authority one-on-one and see, and because sometimes you protest sending the petition and that's it, but to have a one-on-one through the foreign ministry.
No.
Okay, but I think you should try that. Go to the foreign ministry and see if your own government deny you. There is another thing. So I think you should try that in order to talk to them, because that's the Lucas is an American citizen. So I think you should try that. That's another way to seek attention. So it's one way. But all I can say, and you guys just go through your protest and see, and also go to your lawmakers and see how you can push in your case, because if this in America, it will be a different thing. And I also. What the gentleman said, it's not in the human rights report. Everything they put in there, it says a lot about how they see us. So, and I will urge you to go to your foreign ministry also and see how you can talk to the minister, Sarah Beslow Yanti, and see if they can request that you can talk to folks in the American embassy one-on-one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Attorney Jackson, then Robert Gagwa. Attorney Jackson.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Let me see. Good afternoon, absolutely, to our citizens that are following the broadcast. And let me say hi to my sister Jessica and the mom. I am very, very much appalled by what was done to you, my dear sister. I think it's regrettable that Liberia has sunk this low under the leadership of Bouaka. You know, there is a saying that you can share the labor of the great, but you can't share the spoil. Right now, Bouaka is president for Liberia. Anything bad happening in our country, Bouaka will take responsibility. He's the head of the republic. So it's sad that this thing happened. I say sorry. I know many other people have spoken passionately and don't want to take their line because it will be repetitive and redundant. Our sister here, who is a co-panelist, she spoke very well. There are just two things that I will want to just ask because I want to get clarification. I don't know you personally, but I follow the story, and I was back and forth with some of my friends who are lawyers on Facebook, particularly regarding the judge's rule he played. Some of my friends who are lawyers quoting the law. Yeah. Okay. Who are lawyers were quoting law, and my argument to them was, if you look at the egregiousness, but the manner in which the case was handled, I think it opens the door to all sort of what I call unorthodoxy. Unorthodoxy, what the rule that the law implicate, you can explore it. Because some of my friends who are lawyers were saying, oh, but the legislature can't quickly and call a judge in. The law says you can't do that. Yes, that's the general principle. But when common people see that justice was not served, then the people who stood in line to vote for to make them our leader, they have a responsibility. So that the legislature, some members of the legislature wanted to get involved and they say they want to investigate this judge. I think it's another place to start from. But I will ask two small questions. The two small questions are: number one, is it true? Because still trying to get clarification on some of these things. Is it true that this judge, because I know the judge when I was in Liberia, I practiced briefly before I left for London. Is it true that this judge, did he go to you people with 10,000 to negotiate on behalf of this accused fellow who now left the country? Is that information true? Did the judge go there to talk with you, say, oh, you're holding 10,000, we saw it, and the man said, I can't talk with you, so. Did he do that? That's the first question. The second question I'd like to ask is, to what extent have the Ministry of Gender in the Boaka administration have worked with you people to highlight this very egregious wrong that have been done to you, this very bad thing that have been done. And it says here, Ocha, seeing you, see the thing around your neck, seeing what you're going through, listening to you, we get sympathy, we being sorry for how are you. Have our Ministry of Justice, how you call it, Ministry of Gender people, they care about female, have they come to put foot behind you, to stand with you in a serious way since the thing happened? And maybe the third one, which is just being passing, is the mother of the country now, I think Katuma, that her name, Boaka where they call Auntie Katuma. Has she called you all to say anything to express sorry for her? Because a woman, that thing happened to a real woman, you will feel sorry for her. So that is small three questions I got. Auntie Katuma, you woman. They try to call one female through, they just do the case some kind of way. That man ain't getting bad for the woman here. And you, Katuma, you woman too. Have Katuma called you to say sorry or to express sympathy, something like that? So a small three questions I got. You can answer it. I'll be happy. Thank you very much. But I in sympathy with you guys, and I'm with you people. You know, if you really look on how our country is being treated badly, no, Boaka. Now is the time for all of us to come together to stand up for Liberia and Liberian people because the country is being treated so badly. But I just asked those three questions. If you got answer, I would like it. Thank you very much.
All right. So with regards to a few of the questions, I'm Titus Pakala with the family. At no time has the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection has reached out to us. Neither has the Ministry of Gender presented a statement condemning the action of Lucas and Jessica Law at no time. What we can only retrospect about is that in 2023, we met the former Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and she was able to empathize, with the survivor, and that was, it was obviously a transitional period, and at the end of the day, her time elapsed. And so, aside from that, the current Minister of Gender has not been able to reach out to us, neither has they made an official statement. So the next one is that we've seen recordings on social media. We cannot provide the source of that because we do not know the source of that. We've seen recordings, and as part of that, we think it is very siding for the defendant's lawyer to have participated in that recording. We hear too many people's voices. So we're also calling for an investigative inquiry by the Supreme Court of Liberia and that of the joint horses of the Liberian Parliament so that investigation can be carried out. So I think the next question, she can respond to that.
What about the First Lady reaching out?
Has Auntie Katuma gotten in touch with you people to express any remorse, to say sorry or something, express regret, something like that? Because this is it's a Liberian thing, but it's a female, direct female kind of thing. Has she got in contact with you people?
Besides, she's the mother of the country, so she's supposed to get
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Oh my God, it's so sorrowful because she's really the
Yeah,
first
man.
person to call you. She's going to be the first person to call you. You know what I mean? But
All right,
again,
Wow.
hello.
we're very sorry. We're very, very sorry. I am sorry about what happened. In my own weak ways, I will do my best to give my voice to this case and to many other cases that will be coming up because I know Omen Bwaka is really, really sleeping on the steering wheel. He's sleeping. This is a driver who is sleeping on the steering wheel in Liberia going downhill. So I'm sorry, that you people have to come. If there's contribution, I will send my part of contribution, but
All right,
you're
hello.
normal. You're normal.
Yes, hello, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. We'll listen. Go ahead.
Yeah, the context of this situation is a social problem. It interrogates our system and undermines fundamental human rights. So at a certain point of our intervention, we have avoided politicizing the
And
context
I agree with you. I agree with
so
you.
that we can buy in the support of
Of
everybody,
everybody.
regardless of
Yeah,
their political, social, economic affiliation. We
I
are
agree
open
with
up.
you.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
also have to
So
remember
Okay.
that
And I
this
think
issue is a
But
systemic issue more than a political issue. I don't think this is a government-based issue because our justice system is known to oppress individuals, especially marginalized groups in this country. So I think it's important that we don't politicize the situation, but rather we empathize with the victim and we help them with a better ways to move forward.
Let me just say this
Tomalin,
point. I'm not for politicizing
I
any
don't think
issue.
from a politicizing.
The point I'm trying to make is the national leaders of the country cannot engage in empathy bypass. Because for you to be leader, you must have compassion. You must love people. If your citizen is being abused and violated, like their girl is being abused and violated, you can't be quiet. Your
We agree.
humanity, the common decency, you come or place a telephone call. If the first lady were to call you, how is it politicized? The first lady is a female. They call you and say, "Oh, I heard your case, though, Jessica. The thing that happened to you is so shameful, it's so embarrassing. Hey, man, I'm praying with you." Just something of humanity. So it's not about politicizing. I'm just saying to you, people who are national leader should be empathetic. You must have empathy for people. You must get feeling, human being feeling. You can't be national leader, you get human being feeling. Then why you got into politics for? When you
Okay,
go
let
into
Tomalin, can I
politics, you
come
go
in?
there to stand with poor people. When poor people has been abused and violated like our dear sister, then national leaders should stand up and say, "Oh, they think bad." This is the point I'm coming from. This is where I'm coming from. And you see, I'm speaking my Liberian patient because I want everybody to understand. You gotta get human being halfway, you get in politics. We're not politicizing the case.
okay, let me
When my
progress.
friend, who
Okay.
my friend who is a
Let me
lawyer, who say,
progress.
"Oh, they can't just investigate judges," I told him, brother, it's not about
Okay.
investigating judges. Their case here open doors to what unorthodoxy, to all kind of meeting. Anything that happen, a female being violated like this, if the judge got nothing to hide, he got nothing to fear. Let investigate him. This is my position as a lawyer. Let
yeah,
Okay.
investigate the
that could
judge.
be fair on the
Case
platform.
closed.
Let's focus
This
on how
progress.
we will move the
This
process
progress.
of support and the
Yeah,
rest of the
so
details.
I am
Not
I
just the
am
thing
with
of
the
politicizing
sister.
it.
I am
Guys,
with the
this progress.
sister.
This progress.
Yeah.
This
I'm with
progress.
the sister. She needs strong voices behind her. I will put my voice behind her. I'm not politicizing anything. I'm praying with her. My 1 cent kappa, I will contribute it, but we got to talk. We got to make the proper noise, all the noises,
Okay.
for attention
Okay.
to be drawn to the case. Even the
So
local man who came to America,
Oh,
we got to call on the American government to do the right thing.
okay, so let me progress because they got to go home. They came from far place where they are, so they got to go home. So we can't keep it right now. It's late in Liberia, so let me make progress with them. So let Robert come in and then Calabo and we can but you put the people their GoFund thing on it so the people can contribute.
Exactly. We should focus more or less on some
So
of those things.
guys, let me just speed
Yeah.
up because people got to go home. Uh, Robert is in Liberia, is in the studio. So Robert, go ahead.
Thank you. Am
Oh,
I audible?
Raul, you on the ground?
Yes, I am.
On the ground, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, let me say this. I do not want to attempt to politicize anything, but I think the point that attorney I say Jackson made is important. And let me set the premise. when Counselor, no, when Justice Scott case was prosecuted,
We're not hearing him. Oh.
Guys, we can't hear him. But guys, while you're working on the audio, put the link to the
The
GoFundMe so
GoFundMe.
that people can
Yeah.
see it. Just put the link to the GoFundMe because people really cannot see the actual
they can't
GoFundMe
hear me.
link so that they can
Oh,
find it.
hello? Am
Yeah,
I
so
am I audible?
yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
we hear you now.
Okay, good, good. When Chief Justice Scott case was prosecuted, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
we
Yes.
Chief
hear you
Justice
now. Go ahead.
Scott's case was prosecuted, we heard the voices of the current president, Joseph Boakai. Not only that, we heard the voices we heard the voices of the current first lady. In as much as a young lady was murdered and the evidences had to be presented in court, uh, they voiced their opinion from a political perspective. They didn't care about the evidences in court, none of that, right? And we know exactly why they did that. When young girls and boys went to the PHP park and they complained that they were being asked to pay $100 to enter the PHP park, not only did we hear the voice of the first lady, who is a woman, she made a post on social media that justifying why the charges had to be made, and I concur. And so any civilized or any well-meaning Liberian will conclude, or perhaps you can call this a politicizing the case, if a young woman was was nearly murdered by a white, and I don't use this lightly, by a white missionary who had, from all indication, had everything to protect. I was talking to a lawyer today about this case, and there were a few questions asked. Intent. The reason why this guy was vindicated was because, according to the case, the criminal defense attorneys did not present enough evidence beyond the reasonable doubt. And here are a few questions. What is the intent? Why would Lucas Riches want to murder Jessica Lord? It's very clear. His organization makes millions of dollars on the backs of American citizens in these United States because they run a non-for-profit organization, not just in America, across the West Africa. And to keep a 501c3 organization, you cannot have these cases lingering around. Same thing happened with another case where a teacher involved in the very Lucas Riches was murdered. And after 13 years, they have not resolved this case. This very organization has been fighting this case to the end of it. Why would Lucas want to murder this young poor lady? Because Lucas was a married man. His tradition does not permit him to have two wives. He had a traditional wedding in Liberia, unknown to his wife. He didn't get married to a white or a black chick from some Liberia, Ghana, or anywhere else. He's married to a white woman. These traditions does not permit him to marry to a white or to have two wives. Why would he want to come to Liberia and get married to a second wife? And when he knew she was pregnant, he would have done everything possible to hide this and to protect the organization and to protect himself. It's unfortunate that we do not have a legal system from a prosecutorial perspective that have a thorough investigation and really ask the tough questions. But when Isaac Jackson questioned why the first lady, who is a woman, have not made a courtesy phone call to this young woman to say, I share your pain. I understand what you are going through. Though the justice ministry or the justice or the legal system have given a verdict on this case, I understand. I sympathize with you. It raises a lot of questions. They should be seeking the interests of young women in this country. The only reason why Jessica Lord is where she's at right now is because she has no money. It's because she's a nobody. It's because she's poor. This is the reality in this country. The reality in this country is when you have nothing, you are nobody, and you are poor. Imagine if a Liberian would have done this, this person would have been lingering somewhere in jail in South Beach. Look at what happened with More Than Me. They convicted the boyfriend of a white woman who stood at the United Nations collecting millions of dollars while she was traveling the world, moving around. What became of that case? And so I disagree completely. We are not, this should not be politicized. We empathize with Jessica Lloyd, but the fact of the matter is, as a country, as a people, what are we doing to protect each other? This young woman have gone through what she's gone through in this country that no Liberian citizen should ever go through. The fact that Richard Lucas had to make a determination on, should I get a bench trial or should I get a jury's trial, is indicative to the reality on this ground. And so I have nothing to say. I'm not going to go further because I don't want to say something that I will regret. I'm in Liberia. There's a high security issue in this country. But it's very clear that there were paid to play involved here. These guys paid to get away with what they got away with. And they're questioning the statement that she made. What about the statement that Lucas Richards made? They asked him a very question. It's public. What happened? Oh, the girl said we should go to the shopping. She wanted egg. She wanted milk. She wanted that. What the heck does that have to do with the fact that she was in your car? Did they ask for any recordings at the supermarket that they went to? Was she with him within the period that this situation happened? How did she get out of his car? Liberians will continue to live in this country under punishment until we Liberians get our acts together. And if anyone we must hold accountable, we must hold our elected officials accountable. Not a single one, not a single person in elected office. The fact of the matter is the people who are elected today have the biggest weight in this country. They are the decision makers in this country. And the fact that not a single one of them have reached out, not a single one of them have identified with this girl should tell you where we are in this country today. Foreigners, white men, Indians, the Lebanese, and I have nothing against them, they have more power in this country. And our own people are pushing this narrative. So Jessica Lord, I will be at the protest on April 30th. I will push my flag back. I will be at that protest on April 30th before I head back to Ghana. We must learn how to identify with each other, especially when we are on the right side. Jessica Lord did not ask Lucas Richards to marry her. She did not ask him to have a second wife. Her mother did not ask him to make the decision he made, even though he was legally married in America, to come here and have a second wife. She was a student. And the fact that we are making can you imagine that people were blaming her mother as to why her mother allowed her to get married to a man that was already married? Why don't you blame the grown-ass man who decided to marry another person in Africa, knowing the fact that he was married, and he comes from a tradition that doesn't allow him to have a second wife? And so if you argue any case in court, I'm not a lawyer, but the intent as to why he attempted to murder this girl is very clear. And in any other country, he would have rotted in jail. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in Liberia. Liberia, look, we have a long way to go in this country. We have a long way to go. And every time you travel to Liberia, you have a clear reality and a better understanding of how far behind we are. So Jessica Lord, please, I will meet with you. I will be at the protest on April 30th. And you have our support. But I want to say this to you, unfortunately. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Your government, your representatives, they do not have your interests at heart. The justice system does not have the interests at heart. There is no reason why you are a Liberian citizen. as long money is involved. And it's sad, it's unfortunate. This would never happen in any other country but Liberia. And I will stop here.
Wow. Hello, everyone.
Okay, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As you may be aware, as an activist, first of all, my work is at RICS in Liberia. There is no protection mechanism in Liberia for human rights defender, and so we have to leave. Additionally, the GoFundMe form page has already been shared, and Samantha will do the closing for us so that we can be able to leave and save ourselves. Yeah. So Samantha
And before we will continue this conversation. I think there's a need for us to continue this conversation. So go ahead, Samantha. I agree.
So first, I want to say
We'll
thank
see.
you.
We'll see. Samantha, so good to see you.
Hello. Thank
Go
you.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
We want to say thank you, first of all, for giving us this opportunity and platform to shed light on the situation. Everything that has just been said today, we appreciate everybody out there for listening. We appreciate you guys for sympathizing and empathizing with Jessica and her family. First, we do want to talk about the protest. I want to urge everyone to come to the protest on Tuesday, April 30th, I believe. And I'd like to call out women in position of power in this country because, as you said, I do think that a lot of women do need to stand up and fight for Jessica and her family. The First Lady, the Senate Pro Tem, the Foreign Affairs Minister, the former Vice President of Liberia. I think it's time that we should stand up and we need to talk about this issue that is happening in Liberia right now. And we have to understand that an injustice to one person is injustice to all. And Jessica could be one of y'all's child. It could be me. It could be you. It could be anybody out there. So it's important that we fight for her rights. It's important that we stand up as a nation and fight for her at this time, especially to bring the youth into this. To liberate this country is going to take a lot. We have to address a lot of socioeconomic issues. We have to address a lot of systemic issues that goes on in this country. But it'll be one step at a time. So right now we want to focus on Jessica, the GoFundMe, and so we can get her medical assistance so she can go to America. I also want to tell you guys about our banner. The group that we work under is Jessica Advocacy Group. It's a lot of Liberians in the country and out of the country that's working along Titus, who started this, and we want to applaud and appreciate him and those people. People like Dr. Stella Brown, Dr. Peter Brown, Dr. Stella Jeffries, Miss Peter Brown. All those people are coming together to support a cause and to help Jessica. So we just want to say thank you for giving us this platform tonight, and we hope that everyone donates to this GoFundMe, and we hope to see y'all on April 30th at the protest. Thank you.
Again, I want to say
Thank you, Samantha, and we will definitely try to bring you guys back again another time. Find another show, maybe like on a Sunday afternoon. If we can get that clear, we'll try to do that. But it was so good to see you, Samantha. Great job. So good to see you, baby. Wonderful job.
Great job.
Okay, I would like to say thanks to everyone and for having us here on your show. And I want to say that it would be a great help to me and my family that I will really go out and see what is really happening with me. And if I can get the support from you all out there through the GoFundMe, and then the protest also that maybe young people and other people women groups can go out there to support not just me, but other victims that have been victimized and other people who are scared to go out and then tell people their story and then talk about how they were denied justice and talk about how they are afraid. Some people might be victimized and then people within themselves don't want to explain it out, don't want to put it out because they feel like they might get injustice like I did. They might feel like no help will come out to them. So I want to assure everybody to join the protest on the 30th of this month, and we hope that good result will come out of it. Thank you all so much.
thank you again. Wish you guys the best, and let us continue to stay in touch. And we look forward to having you guys back.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, well, guys, that's
Thank you so much.
the
Be
first
strong, Jessica.
we pray that they will get the proper recourse of what's happening in Jessica lives. We all have a charged and responsibility to be heard. Before I continue the show, let me just say this. The executive mansion wants to clarify with me because I know I posted that the president will be leaving on Friday but the executive mansion is telling me that it's not Friday, sometime next month on an official visit. The public will be informed in due course. I just want to clarify that. So again, I earlier said that the president will be leaving on Friday, but the executive mansion informed me that it will not be on Friday. It will be going next month on an official visit. They will inform the
official
public.
visit where?
To the USA.
To the US.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The public will be informed in due course. But after that, let us go straight to our.
I would like to see. Let's see visit to Ghana again.
Okay. Anyway, let's make progress, guys. You all know we had a landmark case today in the Supreme Court.
Ben said we should continue to talk on the Jessica case.
No. I was saying we should talk about it another time. I was saying a new show.
Oh, okay.
It will be a continuing process there.
Yeah.
About that man.
Yes.
Talk on a show, maybe on a Sunday afternoon. We'll find one Sunday to actually bring them back on, just do the fundraiser at that time.
Quickly.
Then you eat
find
your
a Sunday.
pepper glasses.
No, this is my eye. I think I need glasses.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, today we had a landmark opinion rendered in the case at the Supreme Court. When this case was called for hearing, Councilors Arthur T. Johnson, Samuel Wazeze, C. Alexander B. Zoe, Frederick L. Bemi, and James N. Kume appeared for the respective petitioners. The Justice Minister, Councilor Oswald Twer, and the Councilor J. Adolphus Kanu appeared for the executive branch. Now, this morning, the Supreme Court said in their opinion, having carefully examined the facts contained in the records, listen to the arguments on both sides, and consider the laws relevant thereto, it is hereby adjudged that the Supreme Court has held that Article 89 of the Constitution of 1986, which gave the legislature the authority to create autonomous agencies, does not contravene Article 56 of the Constitution. Hence, the act of the President of Liberia in nominating person to the petitioner's position while the tenures are still in force and unexpired is tantamount to the removal from office, and that there be no showing of the existence of any of the conditions for the petitioner's removal from office as stipulated in the acts, creating the respective entities to which the petitioner are appointed, their said removal from office prior to the expiry of the tenures without due process is ostracised. Wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the alternative writ of prohibition issued by the justice in chamber is hereby affirmed, and the peremptory writ prayed for is granted. The nominations giving rise to these petitions are hereby ordered revoked. The clerk of this court is mandated to inform the parties accordingly, and is hereby so ordered. Chairman Sanvee, let's start with you. Go ahead.
Well, today, and I know we're a lot on the show. I want to give Attorney Jackson and some of so he's the lawyer here at this point, and everybody else want to hear from them. But today, I think Barack Obama. I love quotes from Barack Obama when he talked about America being it's not a perfect country, but they're moving towards perfection. I think today the Supreme Court did something that was very landmark. The Supreme Court laid the basis for a lot of things today, a lot of things, and I want to thank the Supreme Court for the decision and the opinion that was read today on the issue of tenure. We now clearly understand that you may not agree with certain positions that are tenured, but it is the law, and the law is the law. On the issue of EPA, I clearly said, and as I read it, and I found something that was very fascinating, is that in addition to them not giving Professor Wilson Tappe the victory or the whatever he prayed for from the court, they also emphasized that he was not appointed, not necessarily illegally, right? Because he was not appointed illegally. The act of the EPA is very clear that the president of Liberia can appoint an acting executive director pending the constitution of, I believe, a governing board or whatever, a board, and then they will go ahead and nominate 3 names to him for him to go ahead and pick. So George Weah, I don't think did anything wrong. What I think, who I think was in the wrong here was Professor Tape, who knew that he was appointed in that way and then wanted to claim tenure. So I think the Supreme Court was very clear on that. On the issue of the other cases, I think the Supreme Court was spot on. If we want to change or we want to revoke tenure positions, go to the national legislature, let the president send a bill, and then they can go ahead and do it. But I think today there was a victory for justice. I think our democracy was strengthened today. Our governance and our rule of law was strengthened today. And we may not agree with everything this Supreme Court have done, but we have to respect it. And so at the end of the day, I think today was a good day. I see that everybody got a chance. We didn't have a situation where people took the laws into their own hands. People felt aggrieved. They went to the court. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter of the law of the land. The only thing I would say is that the president needs to look around and look at his circle, because I think these decisions were grounded in legal advice. We heard his legal advisor come out when this whole saga started and was very emphatic and stated clearly that they were doing the right thing. So I think the president was ill-advised from a legal standpoint, and consequences has to fall in place. But hey, I'm not the president, it's his government. But I think today our democracy won, and I think we all must celebrate that in the direction that our country is getting stronger. We tend to forget about a lot of things that are happening good in Liberia. We want to focus sometimes on the negative, but I think today something good happened, and let everybody fall in and abide by the laws of the land. That's
Can
my.
I allow Robert to say something? Something is on the back end. Robert needs to speak. Robert?
Yeah. So no. I just got a information that I needed to leave the studio for security reason, but I'm not gonna leave, so I'm good. So I'm gonna stay here for a little bit more. I've asked for extra security, but I'm good. I'm not. Listen here. No one will intimidate anyone in this country. This is our country. We have the right to speak the truth, and we have the right to speak our minds. And if you are uncomfortable with the truth, then that's on you. I'm not going to disrespect anyone. I'm not going to insult anyone. What you're not going to do is attempt to intimidate me. So whoever made that call, I'm not going to leave Truth FM. I'm at Truth FM. I will stay. In fact, I will stay here for another hour. I'm not going to leave. So, Chris, go ahead.
Wow.
Well, the man has the right to. I mean, everybody has the right to their freedom of speech, and Robert has the right to his freedom of speech, whether he's in America or in Liberia. So, if anything happened to Robert Gagwa in Liberia, there will be coming after the Liberian. We just wanted you to know that. So he will set there free. He will set there free for the next 1 or 2 hours and decide to leave when he wants to leave. That's just the right thing. We're not going to be bullied.
Maybe not just
and subjected to not speak our truth. Robert spoke a truth, that's his rights, and he has the rights to do that. Thank you.
Absolutely, Sis Grace, you're right about that. I mean, are you going to be okay? The militants are deployed.
Anyway, FM is a safe place. It's
very
safe.
If Robert can protect himself, he protect himself.
The militants. Right, says a militant, right? He's a militant, the cadre. So, and Chairman Ben going to extend some of his tentacles across the line.
True FM is a safe place, so I'm confident that
you'll be okay.
The good thing is that the world is watching. Everybody watching. Live on the radio all over the country, people watching over. So
you're gonna be okay. But
Robert, just stay in touch with the chat room. That's all. So all will be keep us on at the chat room. Stay in touch with us in the chat room. That's all. But
Georgie, I listened to Ben on the issue about what came out of the Supreme Court this morning.
Yeah, I just say something. Let me say something quickly, guys. Because of time, everything. Let us about each person time should be at least not more than 2 minutes, please. Please, we beg you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I listened to Ben and excellent. He put it into proper perspective. But listen, the president of the Republic of Liberia, there's reason why we signed off for this tenure thing. There's a debate from the incompetent lawyer Bujuben Keita. I refer to him as incompetent because everything he advised the president on is slipping the wayside. Now, it was the president of the Republic. People saying that the will and pleasure all of those Article 56. The president of the Republic knew that Article 56 of the Constitution gave the president the power for all of those appointed via Article 54 to serve the will and pleasure. But yet the president signed the presidency. At the time, it was the Unity Party government that signed on all of those tenure positions. You acquiesced tenure position, meaning those people will serve for a certain amount of time. You cannot interfere into the process. And the Supreme Court was very emphatic today. So that process is very clear about how the government process should move through. And I think we need to just respect the system and allow all of those people you nominated, the rest of them, you have to find a place for them and son. The government is big. You don't necessarily have to put them in tenure position. Those people got tenure position. And that's it. We have to allow the process to unfold. Someone was saying to me, and now they will still move again and say they serve out the way or the investigator. The Supreme Court was clear until those that would not understand what the court said today. It is obvious. We need to respect the process and allow our country to flow. The rule of law is very cardinal towards our democracy. The rule of law is a sequence one to the democratization process by our country. We should maintain that, like I said. And I think I'm one of those that, and we need to allow me. Rabbi is always here. He's a tough talking pricing. While believe in democratizing in our country moving forward, we believe in everyone should be protected and everyone should have the opportunity. Raul got the kind of opportunity here. He was sleep on AC, comfortable. Raul, he need a same for his Liberian brother and sister also. That's why the brother is advocating. He's not doing it for his self-interest. No, it's not about personal attachment. So we should collectively support what we all engage in into our country. It's wrong. We should not come and say they're going to knee-jerk approach to the issue. We need to reject some of those things. If it's good for us today, it's something. Yesterday, I listened to Mo Ali time to time coming attacking other people. He declared today, Mo Ali that said a few months ago that he was extremely broke. Today he came, he said he worth $85,000 to $90,000. So I mean, we headed for some problem. And we need to be very clear here. And then he said he declared he got $90,000. Where did they come from? When you just said to us a couple of months ago that he was, so we need to allow to respect the rule of law in the country. The rule of law will help to build the pillar of our democracy. It will help to bring institutions back to the country. Investors will pull into the country. If we cannot respect the rule of law, we have a problem. Jody, I just want, because we've many on the show, I want to respect the time and just submit here. But it is important that we respect the rule of law and move the country forward. Let all 10 people, I believe Mrs. Siaka should be the next person to run the court. She violated no law. There was no gross insubordination on her part because you respect the fact that you nominated Dwayne Van Bumble as secretary to the board, meaning you recognize the legitimacy of Dwayne Van Bumble as Director General of the Social Security. Why will you now dismiss the Deputy Director General on the basis of sending someone to be officer in charge where you have the Director General himself? How are you here? I think Mrs. Siaka should move to court also. I believe the court is going to grant her time and she's going to move to serve the rest of her tenure. Thank you.
Okay, again, we'll say for time, because of time, let me just keep it in our 2 minutes, right? But let me go to Attorney Jackson. In 2 minutes, can you help us in 2 minutes, Attorney Jackson? Here's the thing. Before I got on the show, I got information that some of the tenure officials, those who were nominated, they're still trying to fight and they're trying to come up with something. There was a call. So I think there's some call for them to go to the mansion this evening, whatever the case, trying to still fight. But the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of any legal matters in our country. The Supreme Court has spoken, and I think the president, in his own wisdom, will respect the decision of the opinion of the Supreme Court. I don't think he will do anything further. But do you think, in 2 minutes, do you think the president should reprimand his legal advisors, those who advise him to take their course, the wrong course in these tenure issues? Quickly, Anthony Jackson.
Tomalin, let me just say something quick. I will waive my second round of 2 minutes to Isaac. So
maybe in that case, then in that case, the ideal way
Ben, I thank you. You are just demonstrated. You demonstrated our time
understanding
back in the days.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yes.
Tomalin, thank you. I think this is a good question, but you know, I will start with an arbiter data. You know, arbiter data in law it doesn't have to do with the substantive. Is the prelude to the substantive. The trouble with the Bwaka administration is not that it made several unkeepable promises. Starting with even the road thing, the 90 day where the road stop, no car stop in the road. You know, the trouble with it is not that they made too many unkeepable promises. The real disastrous problem with the Bwaka administration is that it is underperforming the real administration that they criticize so severely. And it's a crying shame. Today, Bwaka does not have, and he and his entire team don't have the intellectual wherewithal to explain to Liberian people why an adulterous cheat, a moral vacuum, who is a Senegalese man, was rewarded with Liberian job. They don't have the skill to explain that. It's an anomaly. They man who is ambassador for Liberia. He came to the Liberian prominent land in Liberia by cheating on his then wife and then getting into law with now the president and some advisor. And today he's being rewarded. How can Bwaka be rewarding a moral vacuum? Is he rewarding immorality? A man who can cheat on his wife, the Bwaka not believe that person can cheat on Liberia? The woman who sells you tea every day, if you can cheat on her, how you not cheat on the country? And Bwaka will give them an ambassadorial post. Is it not a shame? Is it not bending what we are dead? He take another noon crook, a corn artist, crafty crook, and made him presidential envoy. And missed all the cry in the country. Bwaka had not even withdrawn that nomination. So, brother, today the Supreme Court took a very, very unprecedented decision, which I applaud the court for. The court must be applauded. The court is straightening its backbone now. It is now left with the legislature to do likewise. The court has sent a signal that the president of the republic, who took an oath to uphold, to preserve, and protect the Constitution, has violated the Constitution. The Supreme Court said the president's action is not in keeping with our laws. And wherever the president violates the law, there are consequences. The consequences for violating the law by the president is impeachable. When the president violates the law, we can say, oh, I'm saying the president violated the law, let him dismiss his legal advisor. No. The legal team you see there is a reflection of the president. President bring around them people who they are like. So the legal advisor, if the president who knows Liberia, knows the terrain, decide to appoint a flunky to be an advisor, it's on the president. The president has the highest calling. The president has violated our laws. Everywhere around the world, the president who took an oath to uphold, to protect the Constitution, when he violates that Constitution, it is an impeachable offense. A bill of impeachment is processed and get started in the lower house. I think the CDC lawmakers should seize upon this opportunity. The Supreme Court will not tell you, say, go file bill of impeachment. The Supreme Court will just tell you in broad language that the president's action is not supported by this Constitution. So today I did a post, and some of the desiccated boys from Unity Party were coming on my post asking, oh, what provision of the Constitution has been violated? Brother, if you read Article 18 of the Liberian Constitution, I'll start with Article 18 of the Constitution. Article 18 of the Liberian Constitution is clear. It says, regardless of our political affiliation and association, all Liberian persons or people are entitled to employment. And no president should appoint anybody on the basis of political affiliation. What Bouaka did with the tenure thing is not just egregious, it's brazen. Bouaka was desperate, trying to create job for his partisan. Political affiliation, getting people on the basis because they wore a t-shirt, removing other people because they wore other people's t-shirt. That's political affiliation. The political Article 18 of that constitution, you can't do it, Mr. Bouaka. So Mr. Bouaka is in violation of Article 18. And this also confirms Bouaka's own conduct, that he is a petulant man, that he is vindictive. Bouaka doesn't describe Bronski in public as Bronski was a Congo man. Bronski's nephew, Israel Akinsanya, is a holder of an LTA tenure position. He's still angry with Israel Akinsanya. Not only that Israel Akinsanya had painted tackle on his back for being Bronski's nephew, but he done more because he's associated with CDC. So Bouaka is desperate to replace Akinsanya with Patrick Horner, a soulless Bouaka stooge. I said to CDC, this is a violation of Article 18 of our Constitution. File the petition. Let Bouaka lawyer go there and argue it contrary. The petition should be clear. Article 89 of our Constitution was also violated by Mr. Bouaka. Article 89 is where we draw our strength for the administrative functioning of the governance of Liberia. What Bouaka thought to do was to set fire to the administrative structure of Liberia governance. When he said, I don't care whether they get tenure or not, I will remove them. Here is the parity of my logic. Bouaka has a tenure to be president for 6 years. If I were to jump on now and try to remove Bouaka illegally, what does the law say? The law says I will be charged for what?
Treason.
For treason, right? That's what the law says. So if Bouaka too want to illegally remove people, what remedy do we have in law? We should impeach the president. The remedy in law to address this thing that Bouaka has done, this brazen action, is to impeach him. CDC lawmakers should start the bill of impeachment. There's no two ways about it. Margaret Thatcher, that respected British former prime minister, she said the first duty of every responsible government is to uphold the law, is to respect the law. Bouaka was there. He was vice president to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. When Ellen Johnson Sirleaf signed, co-signed with the Senate, with the legislature, to bring about tenure. How can Bouaka argue that he's unaware that this tenure is provided for in our constitution, drawing its strength from Article 89? There are those lawyers who say the tenure thing is statutory, but this statute draws it straight from Article 89 of the Constitution. So,
We're going into 6 minutes.
Also, yeah, I was soon end, sister. I was soon end. So I was soon end. So I'm laying the premise. So my sister.
Well, then, if that is the case, then
I'm laying the premise. I'm trying to. I was soon laying. Come here, I was soon laying.
Man, you had it right. Then you should have.
Let the man finish, my man.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But let me learn. Come on. All that I'm saying to us is, yeah, you know, I apologize. I want to get a message across to our people. You know, I've been busy today. I'm really busy, but I try to take all this time. I've been really busy today. I try to take all this time. I thought to kind of provide. I thought, you know, I mean, I will give the floor to our sister to say things. I just thought to provide a detail. I just thought to provide a detail so our people will understand where I came from and where other lawyers are coming from when they say Mr. Bouaka's conduct is egregious, and the egregiousness of this conduct, the brazenness of this action warrant impeachment. This is why I try to explain it in depth. If I offend some of you, I apologize, but this is the essence of the explanation. Bouaka has done something. He knew that the tenure law was provided for. He was vice president of Manasseh when most of the agencies of the government benefited from tenure. Manasseh signed that tenure. He knows that. With all the color of right, because he wants to reward his political stooges, he decided to move other people, which is a violation of Article 18. So Barker has violated both Article 18 and 89 of the Constitution and the statute law that brought about this tenure. I think on this basis, Mr. Barker should be impeached because he tried to undermine Liberia governance system. It is so bad when the president violates the law, when the president, metaphorically speaking, urinates on the law that he's supposed to protect, the law that he's supposed to promote, the law that he's supposed to defend, then we should throw him out. Not a legal advisors. Because he made a decision to bring a legal advisor. If a legal advisor is a flunky and misled him, it's on two of them. Thank you.
Wow, you missed some. That's a lot of breaking news. Calling for the president to be impeached. I don't know how. I don't know, but again, what's the top of those who advise the president, the legal advisor, other than what should happen to them? But yeah, from Grace, you can give your perspective on this.
Yeah, Tomalin, I would turn my turn to Kerebu. Because Kerebu did not speak on the first time, the first round with Jessica. So
Kerebu, go ahead.
Kerebu speak.
Okay.
Now I've been a spectator now, so I was doing different thing now. Thank you, Grace. But here what I will say. I think Anthony Isaac Jackson said a lot, but guys, basically, we all been observing the political system in Liberia. Here is my take on this matter. I think what the Supreme Court did today, they just followed their previous decision. Under President I think President Weah attempted to remove some people. He succeeded with the, I believe, National Lottery. He removed that person. And the guy, I think he lives in Minnesota. The Supreme Court actually told President Weah that action was wrong. They should reinstate or pay off the person, And I think, I'm not sure if they did, but I think Supreme Court just tried to uphold the same decision they made maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that this is the law, we should respect the law. I believe they just restricted their opinion on this matter, which is a good thing. They show consistency, that they didn't they didn't interpret the law under the one set of government, then on another set of government, they interpret it differently. So they show consistency in how to interpret the law, which I think is a good thing. But personally, my conviction is, I don't think President Boakai will keep these guys. And this is where the politics will set in. They will find every way to frustrate them. They will find every way under the system to get them either join Unity Party or do something. They'll try to frustrate them some way, somehow. And I know that's a culture in government. I mean, like, take my little brother Garrison Yelu at the Governance Commission. I know I talked to him today after the case. He called me, he and I talked. I think we talked twice today. All they're going to do, either try to deform the Governance Commission to make him feel that he can't do nothing, he doesn't have the ability, and just give him salary. That's what they're going to try to do to some of these entities, and it's a sad thing. But I applaud the decision of the Supreme Court, and I think this is a good thing. And I hope when the Supreme Court is fully constituted, other cases that will come before them, they should show some independence. And I'd like to add a side note. Councillor Gonglo did appear at the House of Representatives today on the case, even though the case will not comment on that. But I want to go one step further to ask Speaker Kofa, Funanti Kofa, to actually look in the direction of impeaching the judge, the magistrate, that actually, granted Lucas the freedom to leave the country. I think we should go one step further to impeach him, because he did a very bad job, and he's a very corrupt judge. Everybody knows that. They know his record. I think the House of Representatives, just as they had in previous case, the vigor and the motivation to remove Cabinet Janet, even though we didn't agree with it, I think they should remove this little criminal magistrate. I think they should remove him. I will stop there.
Robert, you okay?
Yes. I'm good.
So I can speak now.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Yeah, guys, let mute.
Yeah. Okay. So
Go ahead.
thank you, Kalabu and Robert. We
I
technically
I thought
sorry that
you let your
you were
tongue
there.
already.
So huh?
I thought you gave your tongue to Kelebo.
No, I told you to get before me. It was not that I was
Oh, okay.
because they gave you 4 minutes. You told 2 times to
I
equal.
just teasing you, Ama. I just teasing you.
But I really like how you laid a premise for us, though, Mr. Jackson. I really appreciate what you said because we are not legal people. You know, most of us not legal people yet, and you were able to lay the premise down. We were looking to impeaching this president because he needs to be impeached. Seriously. But I wanted to say that I am very, very somebody need to mute that.
Everybody mute, please.
Everybody mute. I am very, very proud of the Supreme Court today. What they did was that they protected our country in the decision making against this president. What they also ensure the Liberian people values, and they also set a precedent for a brighter future for tomorrow for Liberia. If the Supreme Court can stand up for Liberia like this, it will go a long way for the country to be able to come back or be a better country than what it ever was in the future. You know, I understand where Attorney Jackson is coming from with the whole impeaching, because if the president continues to proceed like this, the people have to think about impeaching him. But I would also like to say that the advisors around the president are some of the major problems, because we know that our people voted an older man into power. So you know the people will understand. Maybe he's old, which I don't understand, but maybe like people will understand. But then when the man bring people around him who's supposed to have the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to advise him to take the right procedure or to take the right processes in doing stuff, and they can't advise him to do that. That's the problem. They see Bushu Ben Keita, man. He was the person that called the Supreme Court and the court system, the justice system, and told them that they should how to call it, reject Giuliani case when she had a criminal case in court. He told them to dismiss the case. The president's office is not above the law. The law is the law. Even the president of the Republic of Liberia is supposed to abide by the law. So now we start to wonder what kind of people this man has around him that telling him the things to do. Look at like the appointment nephew did, where he appointed a Senegalese. It created another position while the country is already suffering in the economy. They don't have enough money. Why are you creating a position for a sports ambassador when we already have a minister of sports who can also serve as a sports ambassador for the country? Why are you creating those kind of positions to take more money from the government and take more money from our country? This man is a Senegalese. We have nothing against foreigners. But as you pay this man the kind of money that you will pay him, he's going to invest into his country. And your advisor, who is a female, this is her husband. So are you telling us that you're being controlled by the people around you? Do you not know how to lead Liberia as a president? You wanted this position as a president for so many years. You've been running for I don't know how long. You got the position. Why are people dictating to you? You're supposed to be making your stern decision after you hear from your advisors. You will have like 7 or 8, because I heard they say Barack Obama had like 7 advisors. They always get him the information, and he will make a decision on where he wants to go or what he wants to do. And sometimes he does not even go by what they say. He will make his own decision and proceed that way. So it's just so sad for us to see these kind of things happening. You know, we hope that things get better, and we hope that the Supreme Court continue to do what it's supposed to do, and we hope that our legislature follow in suit. This is a good start. Thank you.
Okay. Before I go to the next person, let me say this. I know I'm getting information that there are people around the presidency who are trying to undermine the Supreme Court ruling and opinion. I want to say that they better stop it, because, in fact, the president should be reprimanding those who misled him, who advised him on this tenure issue. But those who are trying to feel that they still have the right, they can play around the presidency to still remove these people. The Supreme Court have issued an opinion. You got to respect it. And any attempt to undermine the Supreme Court ruling today, I'm sure they it will be met with some resistance from the Liberian people. You cannot. There's the only hope we got is in our judiciary, the Supreme Court. So if they issue a strong opinion, I think those who were appointed by the president for this tenure position, they told them to be withdrawn. You should just wait for until the tenure official time expired. They should not try to undermine the Supreme Court decision, because it will not happen. The president, I hope he'll act in his good wisdom. Let's hear from Robert. Senator Robert is in the studio there. Robert, go ahead.
Look, I think that from the perspective of a man who took office and was sold as the most experienced over 40 years of public service, you would think that he would not have made this move, because this was an unnecessary bloody nose. I think that this Supreme Court ruling was a no-brainer. And if this government would have learned anything, you would have thought that they would have learned from perhaps some of the actions taken by then former President George Weah with regards to this particular turn of position. And what is unfortunate is the fact that they criticized when the president made the attempt to do what they had done even worse. At least the president wrote the legislature with a clear explanation as to what he felt with regards to this position and his power as per the Constitution. What they have done here is basically said to help with the laws, and because I'm president, I'm going to do what I want to do. And it's unfortunate. I mean, anyone who is logical saw this coming. And what does this do now? I mean, there are many folks in this city. You speak to people, you meet people all the time. I'm not going to call people's name, but the fact of the matter is, there are people that are still here. They've been here for 2 3 months. They have not gotten, a position, and some of these folks got bills to pay, right? And what this have done is added to the wait list for jobs, and it's unfortunate. And so this whole narrative that, well, this is the Joseph Boakas, government, and this is what, the judiciary branch of government is independent and it should be ran independently, has nothing to do with the fact that Joseph Boakas broke the laws when he decided to appoint folks in positions that had uninspired, term. And so I will wait to see exactly the next move and what they do. But I think this weakens him. I think this was totally unnecessary. They should not have even, done that. But this is the reality. The reality is a lot of folks did what they do for this campaign, and I think Joseph Boakai is trying to reward his folks. But in doing so, you've got to respect the laws. And if you are a leader, that respects the law and you want to operate in a country of law and order, then you've got to do things the right way. And so hopefully they go back to the drawing board and do the right thing. But I think this was totally unnecessary. They should not have been where they are right now. And this is a setback for the president.
Okay, so the Peabody.
Look, man, I think it's all been said here. I think President Boakai is no stranger to the law, and I think he understands. During his campaign, he made it very clear that he was not going to interfere with the law. He was going to let the law be a separate that body, independent, and have to make the decision. He was not going to interfere. And I think the president knows better than to interfere with the law. I mean, if he ran on that platform that he talked about a couple of months ago, then I think he need to man up to it. It is very important that the president, but if he interfere with the law, or people who are running around and talking about they're going to undermine and do what they can do. I think it would be bad for our democracy. It'll be very, very bad for our country, especially Joe Biden being in power almost 90 days and stated that the law is the law. He's going to let the law take its own course. I think he needs to live by that. But I think he understands it, and I don't believe the president will interfere with the law. It's just those aggrieved folk you have who cannot survive for a government job, running from one place to another just because they want to get job. So I think they can find other places to put them in court. Nobody should sit there and undermine the rule of law in our country. I think it will be very detrimental to the country. Thank you.
Yeah, Lofa Julius, you want to weigh on this issue? Oh, Lofa, you're from Peabody.
I think Uncle Joe, Ambassador Boakai, and then I want to believe moving forward, the president is going to accept this process from the court. Today report, I have not completed reading it in detail. The State Department report is very clear. It's emphasized part of the flagrant disregard of the rule of law in Liberia as one of the major fundamental problem about justice system in Liberia. I will hope as the president of the Republic of Liberia, he took oath to protect the Constitution of the Republic. That's the major thing. The president took oath to protect the Constitution. And so, and the final appetite of justice in the Republic is the Supreme Court. The court has spoken, and to protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is to respect the final ruling from the court. That's the only institution. Whenever they say anything, is final. So I believe, I sincerely believe that President Boakai is going to respect the decision coming out from the court. Now, the shenanigans coming from the rest of the folks that were appointed, they're going to be bitter. They're going to be disgruntled. My understanding of their own disillusionment is going to come from different perspective. The rest of that, they feel they had a job. I got one of them that I believe in personally is a big brother. I will try to call him tomorrow. I believe he's one of those that I respect the ruling. He served the legislature for 12 years. He represented the poor of Margibi County, a very respected, honorable man. I want to believe he's one of those that will accept this process. But there are some of them that's going to be very bent on this issue about going to have a government job, is going to move in and trying to tap on all of those to ensure that the president would disregard the ruling. But I don't think so. I believe the president is going to respect the Supreme Court decision, and we need to move on. The court has spoken. Now, the process about it, and it is the president that finally acquiesced this issue about this tenure thing. It was the president, President Salif then that went on. Before we have the three positions that had tenure in our country, and that's constitutional provisions came from the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the General Auditing Commission, the National Election Commission, and the third, they didn't even effect that. That didn't get effectuated during the time when President Sadi even brought about this process. Even up to current, the civil service and agency, we don't have tenure on it, but the Constitution, that's a constitutional process. So the president said he signed it at the time. All of those institutions that came, I think we gave tenure to few other positions during the WIA administration, like the Social Security and the rest of that. And there were people at the time that came up. I was one of those that brought the debate that there was no need to have tenure on like Social Security, like the maritime and other institutions, the fisheries and the rest of that. So we should, and that's what the court has said. The court has spoken. It's the final, it's like the gospel for us. So we need to now move on. What do we have to do? As I said initially, the government is very huge. The president can find provision in other areas of government to have them appointed, but we just have to respect the court and move on. And Councillor Bujuben Keita, my own personal appeal to you is you need to understand part of the element of democracy is to respect the rule of law. If you be the senior legal advisor to the president and intentionally with those kind of malicious thought process and ill-advise the president, I mean, that is also because there are certain things, the very Constitution said an attempt to abrogate the Constitution of Liberia is violation. Anything you do knowing to violate the very Constitution, if you abrogate that, it's a serious problem in our country. So, Councillor, you have to sit sometime and allow the law, you apply the law. That's why you went to law school. That's the reason why. It was a privilege for you to be appointed as a legal advisor to our president. And I believe this president, on the most serious note, I have never doubted him on the kind of issue. I doubted him on a lot of issues, but with this one, I believe he's going to respect the ruling, not just reading the report coming off from the State Department and the rest of that. Our country should now begin the process of pursuing the path of respecting the rule of law. That is very cardinal towards or strengthening the very fragile democracy we have. We started the process, we're trying to build the democracy, and we need to maintain this path by respecting the justice and the rule of law. That is very cardinal. We have to do that.
Before I go to Kev, let me say again, one of those who trying to undermine this Supreme Court ruling, be careful because we'll call them out. And if they continue, we hope that, because like somebody said earlier, the only hope the Liberian people has is in the judiciary, the rule of law. That's the only way we can care our grievances. And if you try to undermine it, I mean, you're trying to break down our tenets of democracy in our country. So those who trying to do it, who trying to feed that they can still force people on their positions, despite the Supreme Court opinion, gotta be careful. The president, again, I will ask the question: should the president reprimand his legal team, because especially the legal advisor who's trying to still undermine the whole process? But we'll hear from Keff, then we Attorney Jackson can send us home on this topic.
Well, I'm going to give my time to Mr. Jackson, and there's a lot of people there who want to hear from him. My sister, Mamasi Kaba want to hear you. She there. She said she want to hear you, Mr.
Yes,
Jackson.
you know, thank you, Kev.
You can take my 2 minutes too.
That's was the reason why I decided to come on the show this evening, because
So let Jay have it clear now. How many minutes you are giving him?
He got 6.
He got 6 minutes. He got 6 minutes. He got 6 minutes.
It's important for us to come and provide, additional information to our people. We don't come being arrogant about anything here. And I thought maybe some of our colleagues would be on the other side, so we can impartially examine what is presented before us. Because I don't think any sensible lawyer would try to circumvent or draw a circle around a decision from the Supreme Court. Matter of fact, what many people in the public don't know is the Supreme Court appears angry with Mr. Bouaka owing to the language even used when overturning his decision. The Supreme Court did not just say nullify, they said revoke. So if that decision was standing anywhere, they uprooted it. So when the Supreme Court sends this strong signal, it behooves the members of the national legislature that we voted for to do the proper thing. In every civilized democracy, when the president violates the law that he pledged, that he took oath to uphold, that president is shown the back door. My friend Caleb tried to draw something with President Weah. What I remember with the Weah situation, my case today was even mentioned at the Supreme Court. My case was mentioned to the effect that the principle of tenure was supported, remains supported by the Constitution. And Bouaka is aware of this. Bouaka was the number 2 man with Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He saw Ellen Johnson Sirleaf sign this bill into law. He came and he was brazen. And like, you know the wrong and you still do the wrong. What remedy in law for that? For a flagrant, willful, blatant violation of the law, if not impeachment. Bouaka cannot argue intelligently that, I didn't know. Even though ignorance of the law excuses no one, but it cannot even be his argument. Bouaka knew that the tenure position was supported by the Constitution. So, the weird thing with my case, the only wiggle room the Supreme Court gave to Weah to save his face, and I think Justice Kopo did that on purpose, was to say that the letter appointing me did not expressly say I was tenured, even though people who served in my position before were deemed to be commissioner. I argue that, but The court said, my man, listen, man, let us expressly say, send a letter, they not expressly say, will not imply all you say. So the court let me go. But the court did not say training was not lawful. The committee and upheld. So how can Bwaka, who was there, Ellington, and knew all of these things, and even with the advice from even the public, will go against the law? This is not the first time Bwaka trying to violate our law. This is not the first time. It has become a habit. The Greek would say habitué of the new government. They've been violating the law since they came here. In fact, Bwaka decided to even start to use the court as a weapon, weaponizing the court against perceived opponents. That's what Bwaka have been doing. So if the duty of this government is not to respect the law, what do we carry there? You know, this thing about, the people around Bwaka, a legal advisor, let us not find scapegoat. On this show, let implore, let beseech, let beg our lawmaker for God's sake. Let them do the right thing now. The court has shown them the way to go. The court say this president who's supposed to uphold the law violated the law. I have printed for them Article 18. And let Bwaka lawyer go there and say, oh no, Bwaka was not trying to do political affiliation. He was not taking it into consideration. If Bwaka is not taking political affiliation into a consideration, why is he bent on carrying people who wore a t-shirt to LTA? For example, Patrick Honor wore his t-shirt. The first argument was that Akinsaya and other people wore t-shirt. But if Akinsaya wore t-shirt, he's politically affiliated. And you're moving him on that basis, but you're going to replace him with Patrick Honor who wore your t-shirt. Article 18 of our constitution is being violated. That is the back room that gave rise to Mr. Bwaka desperately moving people from these trendy positions. How can anybody argue against this? If Bwaka is not trying to look for job for his party, people who supported him, to even do this, it's even violated of public policy. When you talk about abuse of power is what? It's political corruption. It's public corruption. When you move me only because I did not support you, and you want to replace me with your guy who supported you, what are you doing? That political clientelism. You're giving people job because you want to reward them. You want to pay them back. Patrick Honor, my picking, he from Lofa. He supported me. I will carry him to LTA. So I will move Asia. I can say, oh, it's Bronski's nephew. I don't like Congo people. Bronski, I can say, I will be Congo boy. He's Bronski's nephew. He supported CDC. I will move him and put my Lofa picking Patrick Honor there. That is what Bwaka doing to the administrative structure of Liberia governance system. Replacing competent people with political quacks. And you want the legislature to condone this? The CDC people, you're sitting down there and you're looking at TV, CDC lawmaker, you should be in meeting now drafting an impeachment bill against Mr. Bwaka. He's undermining Liberia governance system. When Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Bwaka decided to introduce training, you know what they were doing? They were reducing executive influence in the other organs of the government because they believe it was just wrong. There are instances where the government can abuse, where the president can abuse Article 56 of the Constitution. The will and pleasure of the president occasionally can be abused. So there was a way to say, let's put a buffer here. It is this buffer that Bwaka doesn't want to stop him. And he said, oh, send the people just rule now, just Bwaka just go. He should go to commit another wrong, or we should punish him for the wrong he's committed. Comrades, I think the Liberian people should punish Mr. Bwaka for the wrong he committed. I think the Liberian people want Bwaka to be punished. Their lawmaker should draw their energy from the people. You just saw a lady here crying. Look at what happened to her. She went to the court. The court turned its face against her. Where does she go now? We say to do advocacy. Bwaka, who's supposed to set an example to instill discipline, respect for the supremacy of the rule of law. It's the first person to violate. Even what Bwaka did, he did not even accord President Sirleaf respect. Because it was your boss lady who worked to bring about change you. If you say you don't care about what she did, if you will break everything down because you want Patrick Honor to get job, Bwaka, are you showing some decent respect to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? You're not showing any decent respect to Ellen, who brought about the change out of wisdom. You're breaking everything down because you want to give the partisan job. If Bwaka will break the system down in Liberia in favor of his partisan, what should we do? We should sit down here and look at him. Today, the bare rock principle, the last sentence, today, the last sentence, today, the bare rock principle of democracy everywhere.
So you got.
The bare rock principle of democracy everywhere around the world is even being violated by Bwaka. What is that bare rock principle? Tell you will agree with me. Political inclusion. Bwaka cabinet is comprising of entirely poodles, nodding dogs. One opposition is not on Bwaka cabinet. What kind of country Bwaka trying to run? A cabinet of poodles? Is that what Bwaka want to run? Is that a new Liberia that our people were looking forward to? They will not get Gonglo view reflected in that cabinet. Even Tiago Gonglo, who supported Bwaka, an opposition guy, is not even on the table. Even some of the soft opposition, Bwaka will not identify with them. His entire cabinet is comprising of poodles or Unity Party. You don't run our country like this. It's wrong. The CDC people, the small Liberty Party people who stay with Musa Ability, just start the bill of impeachment. Bwaka needs to learn hard lesson. You don't run our country. It is not your private estate. You don't violate the law. We say, oh, sorry, you violate the law. Don't do it next time. No. When you violate the law, we punish you.
Continue talking.
I'm gonna take another 2 minutes.
Yeah. You know, just take it home now, so we can go to the phone line. Just take it home.
So I just stage colleagues and friends. I just stage colleagues and friends.
You the legal man on the
issue. Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
I hope we have also your man to go home with you.
Well, what is it?
I hope we have what's on your mind because I have something to say.
Yeah. Yeah, but Caleb, no problem. I mean, you know, we better. Caleb, I'm sure you don't disagree that Bwaka should not control himself the way he done. But you know, one of the things I like to see, and maybe you know, we all can pick up on this, is that I see some of our friends now trying to rehabilitate themselves. They're repositioning themselves. Anybody who genuinely love Liberia then, and if you really love Liberia then, and you wanted to put Liberia first, you have made the same decision as some of us made. When we in the last days, when we say, look, let's endorse we are. It was not because we love we are. It was because we wanted to preserve the sanctity of the nation and for continuity, because we believe we have made some mistake. But the second round was afforded him an opportunity to make amends, to correct some of the mistakes, to correct himself. Look at today. Somebody who spent 45 years hanging around government, active player in Liberia government, see the mistake he's making. Careless. Don't care. He will take a Senegalese national who came to prominence in Liberia by cheating on Liberian women and gave him ambassadorial role. Bwaka, what are you doing to our country? Is that the best that you could do? Your son, who I understand has been playing all kind of music, singing all kind of music, all the influence of all kind of things, but gave you another corn artist, a crafty crook to be your envoy. Bwaka, where do you want to take our country? And this man is so arrogant that he will not even pull back. He will not withdraw the decision. He will not withdraw the nomination. Some of the flunkies who are dancing around, you know, the writing rebuttal to me. He writing rebuttal. I told them, brother, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, Bwaka now, you're writing rebuttal on Facebook. Oh, the other nomination, Bwaka withdraw it. Bwaka not withdrawing the nomination, but you still kowtowing now. You're just moving along. Some of the brothers who want to reposition themselves now, you should have noon days. You should have noon days. That an 80-year-old, ailing old man will never have been robust to run this country effectively. You should have known it. Brother? So people who, for their own selfish reason, decided against the evidence, because it was public evidence that Mr. Bwaka didn't have the stamina needed or required to run a proper country. They know that Bwaka is not in charge now. Some of them are not in our room anymore. They're writing on Facebook every day. But is that why you put her in? You inflicted this on Liberia. I told this same network that Bouaka was a disaster waiting to happen. We haven't gone anywhere yet. Someone writing Bouaka, your mistake is too tall. I said, look at this. You really genuinely believe, you really convince yourself that 80-year-old man who has an ailing pre-existing medical problem, who had done heavy lifting for Liberia, then you mistake yourself, you fool yourself, you deceive yourself. You ignore the evidence of your own eyes and your ears. And Liberian people should not listen to you. Liberian people, now is the time for a patriotic group of warriors to stand up for Liberia. You will not get it from Bouaka. You will not get it from some of the beginners who don't even have the courage to criticize Bouaka. Because people who got courage to criticize Bouaka will look Bouaka in the face and say, my man, Babe, this is not what we expected. We can take Brother Amara and say, yeah, thank you for the one you're doing, but Brother Amara, you are known days. But he too is embarrassed. He had joined us now to say, but the man over the job, the man is dangerously unfit to lead this country. He's leading the country in the hole. That's what Amara is saying. He's grieving. Every day he writing as if, brother, I was so angry when I made my decision, that criticized me. Oh. But I saw something beyond the horizon. I knew we're going for bigger danger. We're embracing danger. The man sleeping at the steering wheel. Young girls being molested, harassed, their throat almost cut off. His wife will not even express a word of empathy. These people are so aloof. They're not fit to run any country. A young woman almost got beheaded. She went to the court. The court did her injustice. She's in the street marching around. Bouaka's wife with no humanity. We're not even called to express sympathy. It's too expensive for her to do. These are the people you trust your country to. And when we were saying that this old man will not do this job effectively, he said, oh, brother, why, we are doing all that bad thing to you. Why you go endorsing? Yes, brother, I'm a Christian. I deploy my Christian judgment that I should forgive people when they do bad to me. And look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture that I look at for which I endorse we are is what unfolding before us today. The country is a shame. Senegalese is not going to be your ambassador. Somebody who's been peddling all kind of content all around the community is your envoy now. Your president doesn't even go to work regularly because his health can permit him. When was the last time he went to the executive mansion? Let the press secretary clarify. Somebody told me privately the other time, I don't want to be, I try to be very discreet. I don't want to be indiscreet. But somebody close to me told me that the man fainted twice at his house. This is the man you brought on Liberia, knowing the challenges that the country was confronting. This is the man you did. This is the man you brought on us. So all I'm saying now, the legislature, the people we voted for, we gave them 6 years, some of them 9 years. They have the opportunity to clean this thing out. Amara, you in the Senate. If the bill reaches the Senate, the bill of impeachment, please vote for it. We can't continue with the old man like this. The first step he's taking, the step is not impressive. The first step is so unimpressive. I will sit there and see a Senegalese guy match. Do we not have some qualified Liberian soccer player who play international football too? Can they not speak proper English to represent Liberia? To attract other people in that sector? Do we need a Senegalese who is a boyfriend or husband? And the circumstances under which the man became even husband to that woman, does it not concern that man who is a deacon? Bouaka is a Baptist deacon. Does it not concern him? I read the post that Abraham Dote shared with me about that fellow, how he cheated on his wife and went to the other Mandela woman and all that stuff. Bouaka, he didn't read the background story. He's a deacon. You are rewarding an adulterous cheat with ambassadorial post. This Baptist deacon. So, colleagues and friends, I think what I'm saying here, I might have gone to some other things, but yes, it's important. Sometimes we got to pitch in these strong emotions because it's about our country. We can't make Liberia a laughing stock. We can't. We live from the frying pan, now we in fire high. I said that before on the scene show. I said that on the show. So I think Liberian people should take control of Article 17 of the Constitution. The Article 17 is very clear. If we are displeased about the governance of our country, they say we must assemble and petition the legislature to make amends, to correct things, to answer our grievances. We got grievances. Bwaga violated our constitution. He urinated on the constitution. He defecated on the constitution. Metaphorically speaking, he should go. The lawmakers should start the bill of impeachment. The Senate should endorse it. Let Bwaga go. The other man in line will try him. If he doesn't do well, he will go. This will strengthen our democracy. If the court is doing its part, how can the legislature not do its part? The legislature needs to convince Liberian people that it has the backbone, the wherewithal, it can stand up and tell Bwaga, say, enough of this, and let him be impeached. Thank you.
Pocha.
Wow.
Thank you.
Guys, well, he has taken
I
us on that
say,
topic.
and turning RC.
I think you are trending all over the internet. It's
in the meantime,
Man, let him go, man. I hope Papa will let him go.
In the meantime, we'll be talking about the Grand Jury election. We'll get updates from who's winning. But the phone line, let's go to the phone line. From Liberian people. So again, the issue about the president going Friday, I want to clarify he's not going. Executive Marshal, I clarify that he's not going to America Friday. Just want to make sure that. Yeah, so
how did you get the information? How did you get the information? No, I mean, if you post information, worldwide, you should be sure of it.
I'm pretty sure telling me this. I've very clarified. I gotta get a source. They've been telling me already. So let's make progress.
But what's to the content?
But what it seems, Executive Mansion, I said he was going to Ghana to meet the president and keep that met the vice president through Zoom call. Didn't I see Executive Mansion? I said it.
Another veteran, Toga Alexander Bide.
Yeah, we need to get Toga on this show sometime too, man.
Yeah, Toga expressed his desire.
Robert, wait a minute. The man in the studio there, Robert, to take the call.
I said,
yeah, they just went back. They just went back there.
Oh, guys, wait a minute, guys. Oh, go ahead.
I want to say something. I said, Jackson, Bwaga ran his campaign on rescue mission and arrest. The new Liberia or slogan was Dr. Moniba, slogan for his campaign. So y'all start taking the Dr. Moniba slogan, the new Liberia, to give it to Bwaga. Bwaga cannot create a new Liberia. You can't get a whole wine in a new bottle and say you create something new. The new Liberia again, it was real. The slogan was real with Dr. Clarence Perry Moniba, and y'all let the slogan stay with him, man. That he didn't want out a new Liberia, a new direction to a new Liberia. Bwaga on a slogan that rescue mission. Promise on a fixed Liberia. So that's your clarity. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, you're right, sister. I mean, my thing is, the thing about a new Liberia is it's just breaking with the past. So, when we talk about, we're not just using slow money thing. It's just breaking with the past.
Clarence Moniba trademark new Liberia. Leave people here, why? Okay. The new Liberia movement by Harold Moniba, Clarence Moniba.
Thank you.
Because Grace will not leave us to deal with it.
So, guys, why waiting for the calls?
The Lord's got texting me already. There go, I take trouble with that.
Why waiting for the calls to come in? Guys, you can start thinking about your take on the Nima election. You think if they from what I'm getting, the UP candidate, the ruling party candidate is leading, but if he wins the election, do you think it will be like, you think Prince Johnson will be now considered that he has lost the touch of being the
we can talk about it.
No, this person Prince Johnson endorsed the man before, so no, they were not questioning his ability to be strong. No. He does it before he just came in.
People just told me that he said he right now. No, he's not. And so to be honest with you, the UP candidate. We don't want to see Prince Johnson have the kind of authority that he has right now.
All right,
so this will definitely, diminish his power.
He will still be who he is in Nimba. Nothing gonna change it.
But that's not true, Robert. I don't know.
He's gonna remain who he is. He's still gonna be who he is in Nimba. Nothing gonna change it.
No, but he has said he had earlier endorsed Yan, the UP guy, but because of the issue of work, he didn't trust the guy, so he said he will endorse Koga that he.
So he flip-flop on the issue. But
that's all.
But besides, let us remember also that the by-election in Ghana, when Jeremiah Kun became senator, Professor Francis Mawian was endorsed by both Jeremiah Kun and Prince Johnson in Ghana, and Sam Brown defeated him.
That's what I was about to say. It has happened before.
So, I mean, so this is election. Every election has its own momentum.
But it shows. It shows that VP Kunga wait because he
no, absolutely not.
No, he didn't even put it. He didn't even visit. No, he didn't even go Nima. He just made a call and endorsed.
No,
guys.
No.
I mean,
I know you. I know that your man. You want to prove it.
That is fact. The man didn't go there. He was a candidate. He won.
Exactly. He won.
That Prince Johnson can put you. When Prince Johnson done put it.
Yes, well.
The man call you one.
So that got to the front. 07770176685 is the one the code going to be live here on the closing document. 07770176685 is the number of the code that going to be live. 0777017. So let's call up. Hello. How are you? I need from where you join us. Okay, go ahead and make your point.
I commend you people for your program tonight. I'm still with tears because as for some of us, we already finished our time, but we were talking about our children, grandchildren, for our brothers and sisters who listen. We will hear in Liberia. Oh my goodness, let's all have mighty or Mama Liberia. It's a big thing. I listen to Mr. Jackson and I'm here in this room crying. Your kids encouraging us. Come on, encourage us. I'm on phone division. If you don't even get blood, you ask for my blood. When you division, I will give you blood. I don't care why I say. But for what? Don't just say to that. So I will pray to God for Koga for. That's one to see Koga. And what answer my prayer. I thank you people very much. Let God be your walking stick. Stay where you're going. Someone be encouraging or your education to follow your. Let God bless you all. And again to Keff and Keff Hassan, I really want to talk to two of you. So I have to get your number one to pass through the evening answer.
Keff, get your number, Keff. We're getting a number, you don't worry. We're getting a number. The studio.
Okay. Okay, that's no problem. Okay, thank you so much for your words. 077701765. We will try to reach the number to you, don't worry. 077701765. We just need an order. That's it. To this one, hello. How are you? And from where you join us?
I'm great. I'm joining from specifically Simple Bridge.
From Simple Bridge.
Yeah, most places I can became the first corporation to send out the representative.
Okay, go ahead, make your point. 1 minute.
I want to thank you guys for the program and thank your panelists for outside Liberia. But I just want to say one thing. I'm a son of Nigeria. And I found the show lately. I used that inform of those who is leading in Nigeria. But what happened in Nima County is wake up call for all Liberia, be it Nima or any other country. Your loyalty to the state is supersedes the loyalty to individual. Liberia must progress. This we have been in turmoil for a long period of time. So it is time that the generation after all should know that there was a deterrent set for our future generation. Thank you too much. The time is too short. I got a lot to say, but in the future time, begin to call this program.
Thank you so much. To this caller. Hello. Hello. How are you? Your name from where you join us?
My name is Mohammed Masala. I'm calling from Minnesota. from the US.
From Minnesota. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question for Asset Jackson, right? Yeah, so today I read it, so Supreme Court ruling, right? I know that Winston Tappet from EPA was saying appointed by President Weah, so he was just acting. So my question to Jackson is that
Oh, we lost that cutter. I'm calling make a case. 077701765. 077701765. You have to call back. For this caller. Hello.
yeah, we to our student panelists.
How are you, sir?
Okay, I'm Patrick, according to Matthew Community Peace.
Okay, Patrick.
Okay, this is my first time calling the show. I'm going to follow you up, but this is my first time calling. I'm calling today because I am very pleased and satisfied. That's why I am a member of the Unity Party, but I really stood around and stand against the decision of the president and pressing people into turning decision to break the constitution of the laws that the government have passed. That ran to my mind and said that. So for every time in our country that a law is passed, so there will be people who will always come and break it. So that was very good because the president of that time, I saw it necessary that I remember Blanco Nelson, one of our ministers said, the president of Liberia is always an imperial president. Because there are none of position the president have authority to appoint when it comes to power. So let us spread some of the position so that somebody be independent in making some independent decision for the country and not just partisanship. I will go against the appointment. And I stood today, I want to applaud the judiciary for taking this decision. I hope they stand by it.
Okay.
And they stand by it and live by this thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for forming part, for placing your call today, even though you've been following your since 077701765 is the number to call and you're going to be live here. 077701765. Just call up. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? And from where you join us?
Yeah, Joseph Emmanuel Richardson and I joined the conversation of Carwell. And I would like to say how the best time in all about it. So, for me, I just give up on that issue, okay? We sat 6 years. Everything that you did party and when it was children, you must work out very sad. Everything that they condemn. So, see them coming into government, preaching the same thing that they condemn, says here, I just give up. Like real politician, what my own in the business, and I think this country, maybe that God will have to come and change this country. The expectation that Unity Party and the Joseph Newman work out, you only really disappoint people expectation because it was speaking against you. They were saying a lot of things about President Black on the civil radio station. Today, when you come here, that's during you. What thing ever, in fact, some of the things that they were doing for the world, what did they say? You appoint somebody to make it anymore. President William will say that you don't do anything. He never made a mistake. To see on the Mopaka, who people didn't have for me, I don't want to blame you around on the Mopaka. On the Mopaka, I stayed up in government. On the Mopaka, I had the experience as the share. For him to be behaving the way he behaving, trust me, I think this country, Liberia need to hold it back. We need to bring men of God around the country, around the world to come here and pray for this country because our country is going down the street.
Okay.
First 6 years, the people will complain when they repeat. When you change government, you change people, the other people can't even do well. The other people can't even do well. So
Thank you.
I just frustrated, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You feel so frustrated. 077701765 is the number to call and they're going to be live here. 077701765. So this caller, hello. How are you? Your name from where you join us? Thank you so much. 0777017 635 is the number to call. Let's call up. Hello. Oh, the line started jamming. 07770. Let's call up. Hello. Hello. How are you? Your name? Why you join us?
My name is Merlin
From New Jersey. Go ahead.
I want to comment closely argument with the school of Anthony Azzy Jackson. Every Azzy appear on any show he made one day. When I listen to him, one day is filled. You know, we have to be truthful and put our country first. If we say one Liberia to be a better country, we have to lead a Palestine team, we have to lead a travel expedition team, and put Liberia first. In everything we do, then we can see that reality will be a plan in Liberia and our country can move forward. He made everything clear. Now that the Supreme Court has done its part, our lawmakers have the constitutional responsibility to protect the law. When the president is taking the oath of office, he swear on the Bible to protect our constitution and defend the constitution. But he cannot be the broker of our constitution. He cannot be the one willfully breaking the law. The five-star worker did that. That was when he interfered with the court system to use his legal advisor to draft duty ending case on Prophet King. That's breach of the constitution. But that could be impeached that day. We have three branches of government with separation of power. No one branch has the power to interfere in the work of the other branch. So by Waka using a legal advisor to call on the court to draft charges on Prophet King, who another city of Liberia has taken to court, the legal court for violating of the law, for the violation of the law. So the lawmaker had the right to impeach people on one count. Donald Trump was giving money in this country by Congress to give it to Ukraine. He will get the money and start demanding a condition of the Ukraine president to be a kickback before he can release the money. That was the reason Donald Trump was first impeached. He first impeached for Ukraine. So why it can be done in Liberia when Waka is violating the constitution continuously?
Okay.
Be impeached to save that country.
Thank you.
That country will
Last call, Karen. Last call. That's
Thank you so kindly. 077701765. We take just one more call and then back to the panelists. So let's call. Hello.
Hello?
How are you? And from where you join us?
My name is Theophilus High. I'm from O.
Okay, Theophilus, go ahead. 1 minute, please.
Okay. You know, while we are experiencing the day, we are not surprised. I always tell people, Waka Town in Colombia was just opportunity. You don't have no political experience, no leadership ability. And we see, when the capital came, we told our people, where did we Waka for? Waka went government for 42 years. Tell me the info you made in the country. Waka don't get time for us. Then you're reaching the old people and the young people, we after the young people. No youth empowerment. Waka getting money for the youth, for the country. But we experience it. Since what they wanted, we all live inside it. Thank you.
Okay, we all will live inside it. That's it. It's back to you guys.
guys. So let us discuss. Let us end the show by saying what's on your mind, and in 2 minutes, we can end the show in 2 minutes. I mean, next few minutes. But what's on our mind?
That's the last round. What's in beyond?
Yeah, and then
can I get started so I can?
Yeah, Robert, you can get started. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But look, it's great to be on the show today. It's great to be home. Am I audible?
You
Yeah,
are.
so it's great to be on, man. It's great to join you guys from home. It's always exciting to be in Liberia. Liberia is our country, regardless of what we have going on in our respective states. This is our country, man, and it's always great being here, meeting friends, and I'm at the studio. It's my
Sorry,
first time
guys,
out here. These
we're not
guys are
taking calls.
actually doing a phenomenal job. The sacrifices these guys are making. If you step outside right now, just coming into the studio is is scary all by itself, and so I understand what these guys are going through when we stay on past 1 o'clock and 12:30. They have to sleep here and then come back at 10 o'clock in the morning and then stay until late. These guys are doing a great job. So it's actually great seeing Heron and Sue and the other gentleman in studio. But I just want to say we have a lot to do to develop our country, and sometimes it's not about politics; it's about patriotism, right? And I heard one of the callers talk about, you know, how do we change this country? Um, and it has a lot to do with our mindsets, and it's not just about changing uh, political leaders. It's about changing political leaders with a mandate and a record of change. And unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. I think for many months and weeks, many of us argue that the Unity Party did not represent change. And for those who question whether or not I could say this in Liberia and not just in the U.S. when I'm in the comfort of my home or office, I'm in Liberia and I'm saying it. Unity Party was never the alternative. Unity Party did not represent change, and this myth and this thing that people think that we have absolutely no options. We have plenty of options, plenty of options. When people talk about Dr. Clarence Manuba, you talked about Alice Cummings and all of the other great leaders and all of the other young people, young leaders up and coming. We have options in this country. We have got to make the right decisions, um, for our families, for the future of Liberia, and the future of Liberia is rested in the hands of young people in this country. So all of our young people in Liberia, a lot of you guys that I've met, that I've talked to, you have got to start making decisions for yourself and in the interest of your future. I mean, can you imagine are so people? It's not easy here. I mean, it's easy when you're in Liberia, when you're in America, and you talk about these things. But when you meet these people physically and you have conversation with these people, it's not easy. People are begging. You can't drive. You can't even. I mean, it's not easy. And you would think that you have a government that comes in to do things differently. This is not the reality. And so it's good to be home. It's good to join you guys, and I will encourage us all. Do not be afraid to speak your mind. Do not be afraid to speak your mind, because the strategy here is, and even for some of our friends who are in government, these people have a way of frustrating you to the point where you say, you know what, I give up. I'm gone. You guys do your thing the way you do it the Liberian way. But I want to encourage you, if you are a man and woman of principle, stand on what you believe in. This is the only way we will change our country. Do not be afraid to speak truth to power. Do not be afraid to change, impact change in the least way that you can when given the opportunity. Do not give up on Liberia. I would never give up on our country. I would not be bullied into not speaking truth to power. This would never happen. Whether I'm in Liberia or I'm in America, doesn't matter where I'm at. This would not happen. So, again, great to be on. Hopefully, I come back to the studio on Friday. On Friday, and I'll also be on Saturday as well. I was invited for a special section here at Truth FM, but I will definitely be on Saturday, and I'll try to clear my schedule to be here on Friday as well. And for those of you who think that you're going to scare me, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm about to leave right now. I'm headed back to where I stay. I'm actually headed back to Single. Okay, so I will be in contact with the closing argument, you cannot scare me. If you want to do something, you better come prepared. You better come prepared. So again, thank you guys. Thank you.
Robert, be safe, man. Be safe, and like we said, keep us in touch. Keep
Be
us,
safe, Raul.
yeah, keep us. We are monitoring you. Our eyes are on you. Our drone, the drone, we have a drone on you now. As you yeah, keep an eye on you.
Robert, fear nothing but fear. So don't be.
Yes.
I'm sorry I've been up and down because I'm still at work. So I want to apologize for being up and down. But let we rather an enjoyable stay. I can do my stuff and go up. I didn't listen to most of the caller, but I hope we are all in sync. Look, in closing, I just like to say to all of us, we need to do away with trying to make or to create plausible excuses for our leader. It's a wrong way to do it. The team that the leader puts together is the reflection of that leader's character. It's also even in the soccer arena, in the sporting arena. The team is the reflection of the coach's character. If you have an aggressive coach, that team will be aggressive. You understand it? If you have a president who is vindictive, the people around him, that all they will do, they tap into the energy of the leader. That's what happened in present day Liberia. Bouaka is a bearer of deep-seated grudges. He doesn't easily forgive. He was going after Fonati Kofa. It backfired. They still try to devour money. Yet they talk about it. They're still in that effort. Fonati Kofa is supposed to be, he came from Bronskin background because he was originally Labour Day Party. Then he went to CDC Georgia as a crewman. Bouaka behind him. He has not left him. He couldn't do it in the court. He's divided money. Yet they talk about it. So we should not say, that the people around Bouaka has their own agenda. The leader always has their own agenda. People tap into the leader's energy. The team is a reflection of the leader's character. Bouaka is his own man. And somebody say, Bouaka baby. If Bouaka been doing something for the last 70 years, is it not an aphorism in Liberia that say you can't teach old dog new trick? If Bouaka been keeping grudges for a long time, like he will be 80 years old, then he starve. It's a mistake. So all that I'm saying to our people today, and in concluding it, our democracy will be strong or stronger if we take the bull by the horn. We strengthen our democracy. The court has sent us a green light. Our democracy is being strong. It's getting stronger. The legislature needs to act. Today, the court decision is what? Unprecedented, it's historic. Like the Kenyan court, reversed the president, I think twice. First, they reversed the election, then the second, they reversed the president. Today, the first time our court has reversed this president. They say he wrong. His action is not in sync with the constitution that he ought to protect. The lawmaker got to move. The president violated Article 18 and Article 89 of our Constitution. He got to pay for doing that because he was brazen. His action was egregious. Let the lawmaker not let us down. Let them straighten the backbone. Let them strengthen our democracy by doing what is right. Kun is there. If Bouaka get impeached, Kun will take over. If Kun does the best, fine. We'll roll with him. If he doesn't do well, we'll move him too. That's how democracy gets stronger around the world. We need to take the first step, members of the legislature. I thank you for listening. I thank the audience for having me. Ben, I thank you for dragging me here today. Mommy, I got to be up and down. But I thank you very much. And I thank all my colleagues for having me. Thank you. Thank you very much. And good day.
Attorney Isaac Debbie Jackson Jr., the former Liberian representative to the IMO, former Deputy Information Minister. Thank you, Boy Jack. Grace, what's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you, Isaac Jackson. Seriously, thank you. We learned a lot from you today, but what's on my mind is that we're calling upon the more allies, them that used to be making noise when we our president and said that Liberia was not safe anymore and things were going on, people were getting killed. We're calling upon you because a threat has been made on one of our panelists, and it's Robert Bakagwa, and he's in that country. So your UP people, you need to do the right thing. And we also want to say to the UP partisans, Liberia is first. We put Liberia on the front seat if we're in an audience. If things is going wrong in that country, you need to stand up and speak. Although you're the same people that told the people to vote this government, in knowing that their president was not going to deliver because of his age factor. Nobody talking down on people when it's old, and all of us going to get old. We agree. But when there's a certain position in life, there's certain age factor that has to get toward that position. And if you're not of that age factor, you are not strong enough to be able to deliver, you will not be able to deliver. Even if you get there, if you have the right people around you, then you can do something. As we see now, how this government is going, it's like the president don't have the right people around him, and he's an older man. So we have questions, and we feel very lacking when it comes to Liberia economy growing, and it comes to safety and security in the country. So y'all can come here and start threatening Robert Gagwa while he in studio because he spoke his truth, and he spoke. That's his right to speak. So we want to call upon them because they used to be the same people parading here on social media, saying Liberia wasn't safe, and they were going to make Liberia safe. So Liberia should be safe right now because we hope that Robert Gagwa get home safely, and we hope that he stay in Liberia as long as he wants to safely. So we just letting you know. And that's one of the things I wanted to say. I also wanted to say how we pick our leaders. The way Liberian people pick the leaders on sentiments and tribalism. We need to stop it because it has carried us nowhere. For a president to come into power that's supposed to unite the country, and he only has people who wore his t-shirt and sing his praises in the campaign, it's a shame. And they're trying to take people from their positions and put his party members in those positions. It's a shame. We're hearing that the president worked with a book and marking people, and he keep grudges and stuff. Personally, I don't really know the man like that, but if people saying things that a majority of the people say, there's a little truth towards those information. Because like Grandpa, when they start to say things, something behind it. So we hope that he has not stayed long into power. He still has a 100-day mark, and he has a 6 year to go. You can still rearrange your cabinet and still rearrange your people. All Liberians deserve the right to partake in the government to help the country. You bring people who has the technical ability and the technical know-how to be able to help to build the country and build the economy. And we hope that President Baka can reach to this stage. And we also want to say that your office is not above the law. Justice and the rule of law are the fundamental principles that underpin a democratic society. So for the country to be, democratic rule, and for the country for everybody to be able to benefit, you have to make sure the rule of law take its position. Now, what the Supreme Court has done today is an honorable thing, and the president needs to abide by the Supreme Court rule, and for our country to move forward. It will show that now that our country has been geared to the right direction under President Baka. Although it's against him, but it's also going to be a legacy of him to abide by what they have said. And they will say, oh, President Baka's legacy was one of the things that when the Supreme Court ruled, he abided by the Supreme Court rule. So we encourage you to be able to abide by the Supreme Court rule and let the rule take its course. And I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. And I thank you for having me on the panel today.
Yeah, the great.
Let's go to Calabo. Calabo, you honestly, you from Nima. Tell everybody
Flashlight on your phone.
the Nima politics a little bit, because from what I'm hearing now, I gotta be careful. They said, despite the result that come from Nima, the people at Nima still consider Peabody as the godfather. He's still considered as the major force. And if they're pushing hard, he will run 2029 for president. It will affect the race. That's what they're telling me now. So we gotta be careful. But yeah, we hear from you, Calabo.
Well, Tomalin, it's good that you come to that because you are so excited. I've seen the excitement in you for obvious reasons. But I'm not going to
play the Nima politics.
I've been around election for a long time. I always tell people, beyond Liberia self as election magistrate, I worked for Carter Center as a long-term international observer for 6 months in Kenya. I worked for the United Nations in East Timor as international, UNV electoral officer so I've been around election both locally and also internationally. Every election has its own momentum, okay? And every election we say election has consequences. Say, for example, PYJ could feel humiliated today that, oh, okay, Kun did this to me, and you could fight back, and all that excitement you have could evaporate towards 2029. So every election has its own consequence, and I would say so. But I don't even want to concentrate on this in my closing. I want to actually go back to an issue that is close to my heart. The Public Works Minister, Roland Gideon, who used to be a panelist here, as I understand, I think he has engaged in a classical corruption at the Ministry of Public Works. That's what I want to talk about. In the chat room, I actually share a portion of the PPCC Act. There is this argument, and it's a question of corruption at Public Works. When Gideon was there, this is what they were doing. He was the Deputy for Administration, supervising procurement and finance. They will come out with things like commitment to proceed. There's no way in the law, in the PPCC Act, that gave any entity, procuring entity, the power to do so. The provision of the law that talk about sole souls, and sometimes we say single souls, that provision is very clear, and the conditions for sole soul is very clear. Condition number one, you can do that when the supplier, it has the only exclusive right to manufacture that product in the country. Then you can go there. The other condition is for additional delivery. Maybe you already have existing contract and something should have been delivered that was not foreseen during the first implementation. So you want to do that so you can go for it. The third condition is when you need additional works also to be, as an existing agreement already going, so you can so because you have a relationship already. But what Gideon did, the document that I've seen, the one Senator McGee and others share, the one that I've seen the different letters they wrote, they say they went to PBCC and got permission to do so. And they say for 100-day delivery, that they did not foresee 100-day delivery. President Bouaka made a promise during the election that 100 days, in the first 100 days, no cars were hitched on any major highways in Liberia, right? So it was not an emergency. It was something that they saw. It was coming. The promise was made for months. They took office. He made it as an emergency to spend $21 million to commit the government. And the bad part about it is, and anyone who knows Amra Kone can speak to Amra Kone on this. This brought tension between the Ministry of Finance under Amra Kone and Public Works at the time. That Public Works were over the committing the central government. This budget that is before the legislature is a draft budget. It could reduce. Gideon has committed the government in the tune of $21 million, getting the Deputy Minister of Budget and Finance to commit that there is money in the budget for these activities. That's classic corruption. That is what they've done. And I think if we can have time, I want you guys to devote your time and read that in the chat room. And even just Google or go to PBCC website. They have a beautiful, beautiful website. I went there today. Go there, download it, and read it. Public Works Minister is engaged in a classical corruption. And I think we should debate that the next show.
All right, can I do my closing? Oh, that's Sylvester? Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me say a very wonderful evening to all of us. I listened to everybody, and I mean, time is fast spent. We pray for the democracy of our country to be protected. And we pray that the president, it's not an issue, but I believe that the president will yield to whatsoever decision coming to the Supreme Court. It is important that we adhere to the tenets of democracy. That's part of the reason. These are all of the elements in ensuring that our democracy is protected and well on course. So this is a well-planned issue, but we just need to focus and get the country running and pray. We have to collectively pray for the country. But what I would want to a little bit disagree with my own big brother Gonglo here is to say corruption. I thought you would have said allegedly involving corruption. To come and say he's involved using corruption, I know he was part of panelists here before, but to just come and say he's involved in corruption with having him try and something in a court of competent jurisdiction. I thought
documents displayed.
No, document display is not sufficient. No, it's not
Panelists
sufficient.
are displaying road construction around the country.
Mr. Gonglo, the document display is not sufficient to indict someone of corruption if the person have not been indicted and prosecuted and adjudicated. That is clear. The sufficiency of the evidence alone is not. For me, I just want to clear thing to come out and indict somebody outrightly. I would think that you come out and say alleged. I want to do that also to you. I wouldn't say it on the basis of hearsay and indict you on the basis of that. I'm just trying to be the devil advocate here. There's no intent whatsoever, right? So sometimes to just put the handle on it and moving forward. But I'm concerned about that also. I've been reading about it. We need to do some investigation into the process and see. But time if I spent, let me say thank you, Mr. Moderator, for for the brilliant way you moderated the show this evening. And let me say good evening to everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, let me do my closing. Great show, great show. I thought Isaac Jackson gave the country a lot to chew on today. This is the beauty of democracy. Everybody have a chance to speak their opinions, speak their minds, and associate. You know, my thing is today, again, like I said, Justice Nyenwolo, Justice Yami Bese, Justice Yusuf Kaba, and Justice James Eto Wolokoli moved the needle today a little for our democracy. And I want to thank them personally because it is very easy for us to criticize when these people or public officials or the country, when things are happening. Like I said today, there's a landmark thing happened today, not just about LTA and all of that. As long as there are tenured positions now, one good thing, the president has appointed the ombudsman. Hopefully he gets confirmed, his office gets funded, and things starts to pick up. Moving forward in our country, people with tenure position, public officials, civil servants, as long as the code of conduct is the way it is, you won't see them campaigning for political parties. They will have the right to vote. But when you decide to serve in a public, in a tenure position, what happened today also laid the basis for the code of conduct to either be revised, edited, changed a little bit, because I think there's some things that needs to change within that code of conduct. But like I said, I believe today that these justices did our democracy good today. They did. And we want to thank them for their service to our country. We want to thank them.
Put that shit from them, man. Who put that shit?
We want to, Tomalin, on the radio, you using that kind of language?
Sorry.
We want to thank them for moving our nation closer to perfecting our democratic credentials. So I thought Isaac was very strong today. I thought he was very strong. I thought he lit some fire for some conversations. But this is the beauty of democracy. This is what our friends from the Unity Party did. This is what we did when we were all in opposition. We made noise. And I always like to say, I give President George Weah a lot of credit for being very tolerant. You can imagine you got all these arrows coming at you. And so when I see some of my friends from the other side, guys, I see somebody already now start texting me and say, Isaiah said they want to impeach the president. Is Isaiah right to say you should impeach the president? It is Isaiah right to say that Joe Boyka must step down. That's his right. Does it mean it's going to happen? No, maybe. Yes, maybe. But at the end of the day, I think we have an opportunity to continue to strengthen our democracy. And I want to say thank you to the Supreme Court. I want to say thank you to this panel for elevating the discussion. Because talk show and these online platforms and national platforms tend to get a little dicey and a little crazy. But what we do here on the times that we come on, we strive to elevate the discussion. Lastly, I want to say to Jessica Lloyd, Be strong. Hopefully, and we pray that you get the help that you deserve and the justice that you seek. I want to thank Samantha Gay, who very brilliant young lady. I mean, she's all grown up now. Very proud of her for taking up this fight. And we want to encourage everybody to join them and support them. Donate to their GoFundMe. Also donate and appear to join them in their rally to bring the needed attention to this case that it deserves. But Tomalin George, I want to thank you for your leadership again in moderating, and the rest of the crew, Grace, as always. Everybody, thank you guys. And I think about a Friday, okay. We'll be here
Okay,
again.
let me do my closing, guys. Tommy, huh? Let me do my closing. Let me do my closing, guys. Today will be the one of the day I will actually defend and Jose Human Buckeye. It may sound strange, but I'm going to defend him based on the tenure issue. Reason why I'm going to defend him that Jose Human Buckeye, were in place during the time the tenure position was formed. He was the vice president. He was running the Senate, the president of the Senate, everything. I believe the Joe Buckeye, the intelligent Joe Buckeye, I don't think in his right mind, Joe Buckeye will actually want to remove the tenure position. I believe that because of how the human grow in life, the more you age, you tend to decline. So I believe that he's in the state that his mind, his cognitive ability is declining. So he actually around him, and people around him, that the Bushback Keita and them using the deficiency of what's going on in their own interest.
So that they praise President Menzo.
So I believe that's what they're using. So because of what happening, you think about it. As we all grew up, when our fathers were a little bit younger, were small, we couldn't get away with things. Everybody do. I know you did that, Calabo. As your father get to age, you tend to get away with stuff. We all did that. We all did that. I know, Grace, you did that. That's why we get away. You remember it was hard for you to leave your home back then. Your father, 6 o'clock, you home, you there. Well, as your father get to age, right, you tend to take advantage of the situation, and that's what's happening at the mansion right now. Because somebody tell me, a man who was president of the Senate, they created the tenure position. Don't come back, act like you don't know it. Something somewhere not working, So he's not up to date anymore. And that's why, because he asked the question, why does tenure all over? He did ask that question. Why? Well, he turns to tenure. He can't even remember that he was president of the Senate. They created that position. So I will not blame him. I blame the people around him because they're taking advantage over his deficiency. I will close.
Thank you, Kev.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kev.
Peabody, the body.
Peabody, we talking to you. You can hear us?
I think all has been said. The government made a decision. The Supreme Court made a decision, and that decision needs to be respected. I think Joe Barker is an honorable man, and he will abide by the decision of the Supreme Court. And I think it's not time that Patrick, Honna, Abdullah, and the rest tried to find somewhere else to get the government job. But the Supreme Court ruled that they appeared that they would have to wait for 2 years to get that job. So I think it's fair enough, and I think we need to respect the law of the land. And also, as I said, I'm very proud of Ben said. I'm also proud of Samantha. I hope we can help Jessica Lloyd in any way. Let's find. My son is just on the other side. Let's find a way that we can help them. And guys, if you saw their GoFundMe, y'all help that. Y'all help Jessica. Let's help her and her family. Also, I want to express my deepest sympathy here for a good friend. I just met him in Ghana. He's been there for 34 years or more. Lawrence Dolo. Lawrence was stressed. He shared with me some of the pain and the stress he went through when the home was demolished and he was sleeping in the open field. Sadly, Lawrence died on Monday, and he will be buried. He has no relative in Ghana, and he definitely will be buried. Let's pray for others who are sleeping in there and they do not have the same stress or heart attack because of the home. But great show, guys, and thanks to the closing argument, we followed this case from day one. We showcased it. We brought on people to discuss it, the attorney position, different lawyers, and today we follow it to the end. But I think the closing argument ought to be commended for an excellent job that it did. But thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes, before I close, I want to recognize the birthday of one of our strong partners, Sarah's Joel McGee. Today is his birthday, guys. Yesterday was his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Guys, put his picture up. Yes, this is our boy, Sarah's Joel McGee of in Minnesota there. April 23rd was his birthday. I want to say happy birthday, Sarah's, one of our strong partner of our show. He's always cheering us from the sidelines. I want to say happy birthday, brother. And we hope you enjoy your day and wish you all the best. And God bless you, brother. Happy birthday from all of us here at the closing argument. Happy birthday, Cyrus. But guys, in closing, I just want to say again, thanks. And we'll see
Happy
you guys
birthday,
Friday.
Cyrus. God bless it.
We'll see you Friday, guys. Thanks for watching. And I want to say thanks to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
Ansu graduated from the school now?
No, I think he says in May.
May, right?
Oh, okay.
May, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tom, please call me after the show. Let's talk about your Nimba interest. Let me tell you what I would do.
I have no interest in Nimba.
Larry Kennedy, we miss you, man. We miss you. We miss you.
Don't pretend you're Tom George.
I'm from Magibi. I'm Magibi. I'm interested in Magibi.
Yeah, don't pretend to me.
Kerabu, you're killing a lot again? Kerabu, you're killing a lot again?
Kerabu, so put in ya. I mean, you're supporting Chicago.
Let me tell you now, I was not supporting anyone.
Oh, Kerabu, always on the wrong side, man. Kerabu, you're always on the wrong side.
No, let me tell you now. When we were in the second round,
got to show. Oh, y'all let you go to bed now. Let's go.
Yeah, guys, I see you.
Where now we lecture in?
Everyone can take away.
Yeah, can we support nobody, man?
I said Jeremiah is the new governor.
Jacob, man, you did it. You couldn't call on it. You better call and if you don't get it, I can't want Jacob come back. What? Jeremiah can't come, my man. You making me, man. You are just saying.
Young people gotta take over. That's how it's supposed to be. Get a mantle to the man, let him carry a preacher. Get a mantle to the man, he carry. I don't know what kind of bull with that thing. You too high. Jeremiah is the new godfather.